Pearson Coucher Law. 215-627-0700 or hit them up online at mywclawyer.com. Pearson Coucher Law. Workers' comp. That's all we do.
CMPRadio.net. It's the station.
Hey guys, Jacqueline Tucker here. Anytime I'm in the mood for some R&B, I'm listening to my CMP Radio app. Make sure you go and download it.
CMPRadio.net.
It's infamy. Exclusive.
Dang, I know you tired of them little niggas talking about nothing.
It's
Talking about nothing. Man, I try a real nigga talking about something. Dang, I know you tired of them broke niggas talking about money. Talking about money. Dang, nigga, you ain't talking facts, you ain't talking about nothing. Woke up in the morning and I said a prayer. Like, Lord, I want it now, he said it's better later. Now that's talking to somebody that was never patient. I never waited, and now I'm so fly that I'm levitating. My nigga, I'm so hot, I mean I'm meditating. I'm heavy faded on every flavor, so my mental state is on mental patient. I need some motherfucking medication. Fuck the phony love, I'ma make them niggas hate. 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 All my niggas told me red. I'm keeping real niggas waiting. Make the pussy niggas hate us. I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make them niggas hate. Yeah, you ain't never seen a nigga like me in your life, bitch. Man, I be chillin' in the telly, just me and four white chicks. Yeah, and what we doing in this bitch, it ain't none of your business, nigga. Yeah, you can have your bitch back when a real nigga finish with it. Yeah, I had to chill with them in a minute. Falling back so hard, had them thinking I've been out of time. Yeah, I heard some rumors about a nigga. If it's true about a nigga, why they speak it when I'm not around? Yeah, I got some shooters round a nigga that's gon' shoot about a nigga. Give a fuck about who you got around. Look at all them niggas that you near though. All them niggas suckers, I'ma make them niggas hate. 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 All my niggas told me red. I'm keeping real niggas waiting. Make the pussy niggas hate us. I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make them niggas hate us. Born alone, ride alone. So I'm on a road to riches for that pot of gold.
Good morning. There we go. Good morning, everybody. How you feeling, man? It is Monday, January 18th, 2021. Man, we got a great show today. Come on, Naf. Why you out the camera?
Am I?
Yeah, you out the camera.
You know you out the camera, girl.
I sit in the same spot every day.
But the chair wasn't in the same spot. You're not aligned.
My chair was in this spot.
Scoot
Somebody
over
else
some more.
moved it.
Scoot over some more.
Come on, we're going to need you to align yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Get yourself centered.
Good morning,
More
America.
Nafati. More Nafati.
You moved the camera. I'm not going for that. You
Need you to
moved the
move
camera.
over a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
You moved the camera. I ain't
need
never
you
been
to
close to
align
the wire.
yourself.
Scoot that tushy over just a little bit more. There you go.
Come on up on the right side of the mountain.
She's so difficult.
It's just Monday.
It's Monday, y'all.
Monday.
Always Naf, man.
Good morning.
Always
Good
now.
morning. Hey, Ashley, you on time today, boo? I see you.
Dante on this drink early.
But anyway, man, CMPRadio.net, man, Cultivate Mature Positivity Studios, man. Listen, we are here.
Grand Rising, y'all.
Grand Rising, man. Damn, man. It's a great day today, man. But I'm going to let Naf go ahead and do her thing while I bring something else up.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the morning meeting. It's Monday, January the 18th. Today is the day of Miss Nola Foundation event down at Everest Urgent Care, 2600 West 9th Street. The time is between 1 and 3 p.m. So if you're not doing anything, come on down for free STD home testing kits. You get to take it home with you. Listen, you don't have to stand there and wait for results. You don't have to worry about someone else being in your business. You take it home, you test yourself, you mail it in.
Test your toilet.
Test your
Test yourself.
Test your toilet till you know.
Test your toilet.
Niggas used to use the excuse. They be like, man, I got crabs off the toilet at school.
Test your toilet. Test your toilet.
Just test yourself, even though it don't.
Just
test
swab
for,
yourself. Swab
vaginal-
yourself. That's all.
What is it? Bacterial vaginosis.
Bacterial vaginosis.
What is
BV.
that? Is that a can that be considered an STI?
She don't know. They ain't had it before.
Listen,
she can't.
listen.
She don't want to talk on no shit she ain't
not
never
gonna,
had.
She ain't gonna say no,
Yeah.
but she like, you know what?
Yeah.
Because it's the next elevation is a UTI, right? And then the elevation after that is trick.
Why do you know the
It's levels to this
steps
shit.
to this shit?
Shit, because I know you can't get gonorrhea. I don't know where gonorrhea come from. I've been researching that shit for a minute.
It come from Ghana.
The rhea. Ghana from the rhea.
From the country Ghana.
Hey, y'all shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying,
CMPradio.net.
going down to the NOLA Foundation event today between 1 and 3 p.m. at 2600 West 9th Street. That's the old Sacred Heart Community Hospital. It's now called the Everest Urgent Care Building. While you're there, you can get a COVID test. All of these things are free. I'm just saying, it's open today. Today is a good day.
Today's a good day to know your status.
Yes. So you get to test yourself. You get to find out if you are as healthy as you're saying you are. You get to send the information back to the health department on your own. They send you your information or have you call in if it's severe. So,
If it's severe?
going down. Miss Nola, she's there waiting for you.
She's definitely there, and we'll be down there for an hour from 1 to 2, going live. Not trying to catch the people that are coming in for the test, because I
We're
thought
definitely
about
trying
that.
to test the check the people.
So I don't think are they doing on-site testing? I don't think they're doing on-site STD testing. She's giving out the kits to take home and giving awareness.
I don't think nobody wants to be on live taking a kid home. I wouldn't
be
want
on-
to.
So we'll be
I'll be
going
on live
live for
taking
everybody
the kid
that's coming in to grab a kid.
I'll be on live taking the kid home because
Saying-
I don't think you should be afraid of what you've been through. You made a conscious decision to live the life that you live, and if you are positive for something,
What if
then
it's
you're
one of them
positive for
nights
something. Just do the correct thing and have yourself.
But what if it was a
tested and
decision that you
treated.
didn't make? Like some people have two versions of them.
All right, so if they didn't make the decision, meaning that they
Like
were
what if the
raped,
gold room version of you made that decision?
that's still the decision that you made. Anything I did at the
Some-
gold room, I own. Anything I did after leaving
own
the gold
it?
room, I own it. That's it. You can't make excuses as to why things happen. You went to the gold room, you got drunk.
But it's two
and
different
then- and
versions of not
One
fatigue.
thing about that is you're guaranteed to get drunk in the gold room. I don't care what version of not fatigue is one body. That's it.
No, but I'm saying there's the Nafati at the morning show, and then there's Nafati after 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah, she should be home then. That's all I'm saying.
Hold 2 bottles of wine.
It's not a whole
Navati-
2
that's
bottles.
how you do it.
He
Navati-
should have said 2 glasses. But he just gonna throw me 2
Nafati
bottles.
would drink a whole case of wine. I don't know if that's true. I just seen a bunch of wine bottles there. I figured she drunk them all at the same time.
That is hard.
Anyway,
I probably didn't even drink any of them. That's to be truthful. It is something definitely wrong with all of them.
I'm just, you just want to state the facts nowadays.
Dante said, "Go down there, go live, so we can see who got the kits." So, but it is best to go down there, get the information that you need, take it home for your kids because they're unaware. Have a conversation with them. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Take it home. They're unaware. They're sexually active. They're running around here.
Take the
they're
kid
doing
home
whatever.
for your kids.
Yeah. Have them test themselves. Like, you know what you've been through in life. You know how this go. Have them test themselves and then tell them, like, listen, you don't want to have to go through this. Like, educate them.
No, what you're saying
along
makes
the way.
sense. I'm sorry. I just find comedy in everything sometimes.
It's okay. But I'm just saying.
What if somebody's
I would.
kid, they fucking 9 years old? You
Oh,
talk
no,
about,
don't
hey,
go
when
down
you get
there.
off of Skype, when you get off of school today, I want you to
I need you to come
take this STD
I need you to
test.
pee in
No.
this. Take this cotton swab, rub it on the side of your balls.
No, I don't mean that age. I mean like your teenagers who aren't aware that they should go to the doctors. Like, I've been going to the doctor since since a child. But as far as sexually active, I've been going since I was 15 years old. First time I walked in, I ain't walk out with a bag.
You ain't get the condom bag?
I ain't get the bag.
all your friends got the bag.
But
Your
me.
friends got the bag, but you.
But me.
All different.
I'm like,
assorted
why y'all
flavors.
got that bag? They like, we got stuff in here. They gave us this. I'm like, oh, man. They ain't give me none of that. It's too late.
Oh, you was already preg.
I was knocked up.
Oh shit.
First time going to the GYN.
Damn, they don't give you no condoms when they find out you is
Nah.
taking it raw.
Nah.
Great job.
You gonna give a hand clap? What in the world?
Look, if you gonna go and you gonna find out, you might as well find that out.
Yeah, I was 15 years old. I said, what? Why everybody else got a bag? I tried to get the lady to give me one. I'm like, man, you gotta give me one so I can just leave with them. But they already seen that I ain't have a bag. All me and my homegirls went. And
That's right.
I ain't get a bag. They did. We laughed all the way through the park. I'm damn near about to die inside. Like, oh man. And
There's
that was
levels
that.
to this shit.
It is. It is. First, listen, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Are you sure? Like, this is my first time here. This is the news that you're going to give me?
There's
Like,
levels
that don't
to
even
this
make
shit.
sense.
Oh, you want me to go back and tell Big Calvin about this shit?
No, the worst part was that when I got back to school, because it was a school day. It was January the 2nd, 1993. It was a school day. And the crazy part was when I got back to school, he knew that we had went to the doctors. It's nothing like having a popular parent. He knew we went to the doctors. He said, somebody need to tell me something. It's me and my friends went to school, walking back into the school, trying to get around him after we done cut second and third
Did he
period.
have that trench coat on?
No. He probably had on a pair of jeans. He was at the high by then. Yeah, but first time in, I said, man, every time I come in this joint, y'all give me bad news. They just keep laughing. They gonna say, well, you got to do something better.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
But they never gave you the bag.
They never gave you the bag. They never gave you the bag to do nothing better, right? Give me the bag,
You
regardless
gave me
if
the
I'm pregnant
bag.
or not. Give me the fucking
Give me the
bag.
fucking
Shout out
bag.
to Miss Fatty. She was there for every last one of my test results. Every last one. She'd come and she'd be like, girl, just go home, bring your urine back.
Right.
Yours.
Yours.
We're not going to keep having this. You can't. As soon as I get there, I'm nervous. I can't pee. I ain't got to pee. What you want me to do? There it is. But I tell you, she was there for everything. STD testing, everything. Like, we ain't even going to, I ain't going to hold. She was there for everything.
You couldn't
Everything
pee when you got there?
Every time I got there, I couldn't pee. I'm like, just take the blood. Like, I'm willing to take the needle, take the blood. If I can't pee, I can't pee. What you want me to do? She gonna say, go home and bring it back. Nobody got time to be playing with you, not to tell you. Shout out to Miss Fatty. That was my girl, too. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's good that
But-
you carried on her tradition.
Get on down there. Get your
Trench coat
testing
mafia.
kit. Get your testing kit.
TCM.
And,
Her name is Miss Fatty.
Miss Fatty. That,
Did you
her
ever pick
real
up that
name-
nickname?
No, never. Mm-mm. I don't even know why she was called that. She probably weighed like 140. She was very slim.
Did she have a butt?
She's very slim still. No.
Oh.
Yeah, so
thought
I don't
maybe
know
the
where the
old
name
heads was
came
calling
from.
her fat.
I'm going to ask her. I'm going to ask her. I'm going to see what she say.
STD
Why did they
life.
call you Miss Fatty? Because I don't think she was ever like big or anything. So,
Yo,
I don't know. But get on down there to Everest Urgent Care and get your at-home testing kits. And, yep.
Before I forget
Find
about
out.
this, right? Can I just tell all our viewers, I feel like y'all should go watch the Spike Lee movie. Like, go watch the Spike Lee movie.
Well, what's the name of the Spike Lee movie?
American Skin. Go ahead. What you about to say,
American
Pierre?
No. Before we get into that, because I
Go ahead.
want to talk about that for a couple seconds, and you got to watch it, right?
Yes, I have to watch
Gotta
it.
watch it. But we have we know today's
Doctor,
January 18th.
Yes.
Ooh.
Dr. Martin Luther King. This is the day that
Celebration Day.
we celebrated.
Yeah.
Right. His birthday was
The 15th.
the 15th. Right. So, in honor of him, we want to play his very last speech. Right. It's 2 minutes of his last speech that he gave in Memphis before he was executed. So
This speech says a lot.
it does. It does.
He kind of knew what was coming
So we're gonna play that.
when you listen to it. Yeah, Morris on there.
We've got to give ourselves to this struggle until the end. Nothing would be more tragic than to stop at this point in Memphis. I want to thank God once more for allowing me to be here with you. I left Atlanta this morning and then I got into Memphis. And some began to say the threats, or talk about the threats that were out. What would happen to me from some of our sick white brothers? Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, I requested this speech this morning. And if you've never listened to that speech, I have never heard that whole entire speech, but if you've never listened to that speech, it's definitely something that you should listen to. You can get a lot from that speech. That man was ready, not knowing that he was going.
How many times have you heard that tired old?
What? What's wrong? You hear something?
Not knowing that he was going to die soon after giving that speech, but he said he was ready. Like he said, he had saw so much, and everything that he had saw had made him. It had prepared him. It had prepared him for whatever was coming next. What did he say? His white brother. He didn't say the white devil. He didn't say the white. He said his white brother. So he made himself as equal to that man as possible, in my own opinion of that speech. That was a great speech.
Yeah,
That was deep. We out here, we call them everything but a brother or a sister. We never have a reference towards them as if they come from the same as we do. So for him to say that,
I don't think he was saying that.
what was he saying? He said he was sick, his white brother.
Who was sick?
The white man. He said someone gave him a message that said that his white brother, his sick white brother, that's what he said.
Sick in the head.
You can say it what you want to say, but he didn't reference as a white devil.
I love the way that Nafati breaks down her version.
Right.
I said in my opinion though.
No, you didn't say that much, but you did say it is your opinion.
She did say it in her opinion.
What you
She's
can't
like,
hear down there?
Hey,
Well, obviously-
There's too many
hey,
willies on the bike.
That's what I'm saying. You know, usually I'm glad Mike Martin is here this morning because I would have reached across this table,
Good morning.
Hi,
cleared out
Mike.
your
Good
ear.
morning. Y'all tripping.
You know, it's
For
not
real.
for tea in the morning.
That's my opinion on it. He didn't reference him as a white devil. He didn't reference him as anything
But
other than his brother.
He did preference the brother's statement by sick.
Well, he said
My
sick.
sick
He
white
said,
brother.
No, he said
Oh, we gonna go back?
sick.
Oh, that's even worse.
Sick.
I don't even know if
So-
we related.
Well, he didn't reference him with evilness. That's all I can say. I appreciate the speech, and I appreciate the fact of his preparation for death. Like he was ready. So some people aren't ready to die. You understand what I'm saying? They don't feel like they did enough. I haven't done enough that God will accept me. He had done so much that he said we cannot stop. Like we got to give ourselves to the end, meaning you have to fight all the way up into the bitter end to get what you expect for the next generation. So that's my opinion of the speech. I got a lot from the last 2 minutes of it.
What's
I
your
think it's
opinion
like
of the
6.
speech?
Me? You talking to Mike? We going down the line? We gonna shoot?
No,
You just gonna treat him like he invisible? He here this morning. It's Monday Mike time. You feel me?
I'll wait. Are we talking about
First of all, in my great country
His
of
last
America,
speech.
Yeah. Oh,
my
like-
great country of America, where Proud Boys can't fly American Airlines no more, where an American can't be on American Airlines anymore. I don't know. I'm on the fence with Martin Luther King. I feel like he helped us and he hindered us in certain ways. You know, I'm 50-50 with him. I love the fact that he dedicated his life for the bettering of his people. You know, that's a hard dedication. Some people can't even dedicate their life for the bettering of their self, let alone their community, let alone a whole country.
Right.
You know, and but I also feel like certain things that he did held us back. You know, he said don't, you know, like when he was doing his nonviolence protests and stuff, I just feel like, you know, it's just like when the invaders came, any group of invaders came and you say, hey, man, they're about to kill us, and you say nonviolence. But then you lead your people to the slaughter. You lead the lambs to the slaughter, you know? At the same time, once again, I feel him because he had a vision and he lived his vision. Even when everybody else said his vision was crazy, this shit, they said, man, what you talking about black kids play next to white kids? That shit ain't never gonna happen. If he would have never took the steps that he took, then black kids probably wouldn't be playing next to white kids right now. So I commend him for that. He lived out knowing that he was putting a death sentence out for himself. I think one of his strongest moves, I always tell people, was the Montgomery boycott. I feel like out of everything he did, out of every march that he did, when he boycotted them buses, I feel like that was his signature to death because he fucked with their money. He fucked with millions of dollars back
But
then.
he didn't die for
13
years after
I
that.
know. I'm just saying that.
But that definitely put the target
Think
on
of,
his back.
let's do history here. What other black movement ever affected money like that?
No.
Imagine right now if blacks stood up and said, you know what, they're going to keep killing us. We're not riding a bus right now. They would lose trillions of dollars.
True.
But we're not that disciplined. This one man's voice in one action changed the whole nation to stop riding a bus for a minute. That's deep. You know, and I feel like that affected a lot.
And
Go ahead,
without
man.
social media.
Yeah,
How
without
about that?
social media.
Without social media. That went word of mouth all the way down. It trickled down, trickled down, trickled down.
So we were more connected then than we are today.
Absolutely.
And we got way more resources to be connected.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. We were way more connected in that time. But at that time, they were fighting for where we are now.
Right.
So what are we fighting for?
Right.
To have the bigger house, to have the better car. This is our fight. Our fight is not to give our kids better communities as a whole. We are only fighting for our own selfishness. That's it.
Which brings up parts of that movie, American Skin, which Nafati has to watch.
I ain't
Go ahead,
watching
we
any
can-
that.
But Mike, give me how you feel about this.
I'm like Brother Hunt over here, 50-50. Cause from looking out in, he wanted to win with love.
Right.
Like Martin Luther King wanted to win with love, and Malcolm X wanted to win with love. And I'm not turning my other cheek.
Yeah, I'm not. Right.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat you how you treated me. And I think that's where Martin Luther King, you know, he was about compassion. He was about love. He was a Bible scholar. He was a biblical man, you know, and that's what the word teaches you to be. God is love. So he wanted to walk around, don't hit them, don't hurt them, let them hurt us. You see what they did to Jesus, they're going to do the same thing to us. So nonviolent. God was nonviolent, so we're going to be nonviolent. And I just believe that was wrong. That was wrong on not a lot of levels, but just a level on my own.
So you don't
look
think
at
that he
things.
wanted them to see us as less than an animal? Like that's why he said don't be violent. He didn't want us to go in and start the fight, but he didn't tell us not to finish it.
I feel like
he didn't say don't hit them back.
Right.
He said don't start it. Though.
But what you just said, Naf, you said did he not want them to see us as animals? They were if anything, they should have been categorized as animals.
Right.
They were worse than animals.
But we've been categorized as animals since we got here.
And I got you, right? But if right now, Nafati, if you sit in front of me, right, and you poop in your hand and throw it at me, and then you say to me, you're an animal, I'm looking at you like, I'm the animal, you just pooped in your hand and threw it at me. They were pulling people out of their houses and hanging them in front of their houses and setting them on fire. So I could care less if you look at me as an animal when I react to this. And I feel like at one point in time,
I'm not saying not to react. I said I don't think that he meant. Don't initiate the fight. Finish the fight though. That's what I'm saying. You don't think that he meant it like that when he said don't go in fighting?
Can we also understand that Martin Luther King did fight back? I don't want to put it out there like he did not fight back.
Right.
He did fight
back.
He was just a strategist. He knew.
He didn't come in swinging
Exactly.
for absolutely nothing. So I don't think that was a hindering process. He just wanted them to see the human side. He wanted them to see us as human, because the moment a black person raises their head, they're considered an animal. They're on attack from the beginning.
That's the pot calling the kettle black.
But I think that's wrong. Why when the moment we fight back, when we have
See,
a
y'all
lot
keep
of
saying
years
fight
of,
back.
a
What
lot of
about
years-
fighting first?
But
He
a lot
said
of
don't
years of
fight
history,
first.
though, sis, a lot of years. We got 500 plus years of we need to fight back, and
Yeah.
that was Martin Luther, and that was what Malcolm X was saying. Yo, y'all done did this to us long enough. We didn't do anything. So right now we gaining strength, we gaining numbers. We not doing this.
We always had the strength in the numbers.
We not doing. So he was just okay. Well, now it's time. Let's go.
But did he take the first swing too? Did Malcolm take the first swing? No, Malcolm waited. We always contemplated self-defense before we went with the first swing.
So Malcolm's first swing was when he got locked up.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have a problem with dealing with the white woman eating the pork. When he got locked up, he came out a different man. For Martin came from education. You know, he graduated high school at 15. He graduated college at 19. He came to Chester. He was a part of the seminary or the revolution that was here. But when Martin Luther King said, "I fear I may have integrated my people into a burning house," he knew exactly what he had asked for and what he had done. So I agree with the brothers. Like Martin Luther King, for everything that he brought to our community, right? The love, the compassion, that was for us, right? That was for us.
For our unity.
For our unity, right? But in American Skin, it was a part where his wife called him after he had already gone in there. And she said, "No, just leave." And he was like, "I'm not turning the other cheek. I'm going to turn the other cheek and I'm going to have to turn it again." And then after that, they win. We have been sitting here turning the other cheek, and the women of our community will sit here and say, "No, be peaceful." But the men of our community, we're trained fighters. We were born to fight for something. And if we don't fight for it, we end up fighting each other.
I feel like segregation was not needed. I don't feel like it was needed. I feel like when we fought for it, I feel like I said, when I say it about Martin, I feel as though he was a
leader,
God-sent man.
Yes,
absolutely.
But I feel also that when he fought for segregation, guess what the Italians did?
He fought for integration.
Integration,
right?
Segregation.
Segregation is what we are right now.
Yes, we're
Chester
segregated.
High is an all-black school. Ridley is an all-white school. with
So
a couple-
I'm saying it wrong.
You understand what I'm saying?
When they decided that we should mix, I feel like no one else wanted that. And I feel like they lived by it. Go up Philly right now to the Italian market. It ain't a black store on the Italian market. Go to Chinatown. You know it's hard for a black person to get a property inside Chinatown. I feel like when we split up and we decided, hey man, we should go be on the bus with them. I feel like at that time we should have fought more for our own bus system. Because now we're in 2021 and there is no black bus system still, but we're the biggest patrons to buses. I feel like there's no black airline, but we're the biggest patrons of that train system. We built the fucking trains, dog. We built the railroad track. We couldn't build our own shit. You know, taxi services. They stole that Uber and Lyft. Guess where Uber and Lyft originated from? From hats.
Right.
You ever went up Philly or New York and they say hats? A couple years ago, and they took that and they ran with it.
Right.
So I feel like all these systems that we could have had at one point in time when we were all black and celebrating our neighborhood, somebody said, hey man, I want to go down to McDonald's where they don't let black people at.
You know what they did?
Wanted inclusion.
You know what they did? They signed the Civil Rights Bill. Which shut all
of it down.
The lines could be crossed.
The line was drawn. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, you're equal to us.
Yeah.
And they hid under the
we
cover
wanted-
of
but-
darkness.
but we
when
wanted inclusion.
when Barack Obama got in there, you saw everybody coming out.
You seen them start to come out.
Coming
Bulls
Then
started
Trump-
pulling out
then-
the curtains and shit. Oh, wait a minute, y'all got black.
I remember having a conversation. Everybody said, well, how you feel about Barack Obama becoming president? I'm like, it's not the 8 years that he's going to get, because he's going to get 8 years. It's the 8 years after. It's going to tell me where my people are and whether we're ready for this fight. You got an 18-year-old boy in Delaware right now, told his mom he wanted to buy a gun. She's like, you're not bringing it in my house. I'm like, if he can buy it legally, you should take him to the gun range so he can learn how to break it down, clean it, because he's trying to protect himself and you. Right. But he doesn't have to protect me, but he doesn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's your job to protect him. So if he doesn't know how to operate the gun,
then what?
So take him to the range and teach him how to. Don't worry about what he did because you told him not to do it. He feels.
I
as though,
take mine to the range.
Right, you got to take your kids to the range. We have to begin to engage our children in the same thing that they doing because they ready for war
all the time.
At all fucking time.
I have this conversation all the time, right? Lately at the barbershop, and I get flack on it, but I ask my question is, what if we don't have the compassion and love for them like they don't have for us?
We don't.
How would we act?
We don't.
We would win.
We would win.
We would win.
We would win.
We had fear in us. If we didn't have the fear, how would we react?
I don't think it's fear.
It is fear. It's fear because we get treated differently. It's fear because our sentencing is higher. It's fear. It's fear because we get caught and they don't.
It's fear because we don't know how to love each other.
No,
listen.
I don't have that.
Because listen to what happens. Listen to what happens.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
I done let y'all three have y'all time.
Go ahead.
It's like, no, but I say it's fear. It's fear because we know the sentencing that comes behind any action that we've ever performed. That's why I say it's fear. It's not because we don't know how to love one another, because we do. We are taught in our own homes. We do.
We don't.
We are taught in our own homes to love your brother and sister first.
Love your brother and sister first in your house.
No, but we're still taught to love.
And then what happens to the family when the grandma dies? The family breaks off and does their own thing. There's no unity there.
No one was set in a position to step up to be next. No, we were taught to love one another. Nobody was set in a position to step up. It wasn't no step up after Malcolm and Martin in our community.
Nobody.
It wasn't nobody there to be a leader.
Nobody
in our community.
Nobody.
And then you look at it. You look at it like we're scared. We're so scared to step up because look at what happened to Malcolm.
So what will happen? And that was then.
But still now, we know that my brother went to jail for X, Y, and Z. My sister went to jail for X,
the
Y, and Z.
Black Panthers, Medgar Evers, they slaughtered us, bro.
We've seen what happens. So why are we standing up now?
Because
we've seen what happens.
The best way to know how to beat your enemy is to know their moves. So guess what? If you stand up right now and say this is what you're doing, it's up to your people to stand around you and protect you. Right?
Okay, they stood around Malcolm. He was assassinated. Martin. He was assassinated. They stood around Malcolm. The moment they feel as though one black person gets too much power, they find a way to assassinate him. Just like all the black greats that are dying without their legacy, they're being trashed. It's fear.
I still feel like it was other blacks that
it's
it doesn't matter.
Is Farrakhan still alive?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Right, he bring up more drama than a little bit.
Yeah,
he causes more problems than a little bit.
And he tell him come.
But we don't listen to him because he Muslim. Oh God, he Muslim.
It's not just because he's Muslim. It's not because he's Muslim. It's because we are scared to follow him. They followed behind him. They got sprayed with water hoses. They got beat down in the street. Nobody wants to go through that with their own personal. It's a fear for black people to go out here and actually be as strong as they are because of what can happen to us. Them white people should have been shot on that Capitol lawn. Them black people would have been shot on that Capitol lawn.
So you're saying it's okay for your country to shoot people?
It would have been black bags all over the place. But in fear, we will never march in drones like that.
But in fear, we will also still get our asses whipped.
You're still getting killed.
You still get killed.
Right. And in fear, guess what? All them people out there with that George Floyd, all them people out there with them cameras, all they had to do was just push the man, push him over just a little bit. But in fear of them dying, in fear of them being the next casualty, everybody stood back and pulled out a camera. It's fear. So, I don't want to die like I know he's about to.
So what we about to do real quick is watch how they took all the white people off the planes.
Yes. Very good. Wave your flag.
Baby. I love every single one of you, but this is what they do to us. They kick me off the plane, they call me a fucking terrorist, and they want to fucking ruin my life. Sir, please calm down. I was just talking about that earlier.
Take this a step further. The 2 passengers we need to remove from the airplane are refusing to do that, and we can resolve this easily, but at this point I have to ask everyone to leave the airplane.
Oh my
Take your IDs and your boarding passes. You can leave your personal belongings if you're going to reboard. Please do not get involved in the altercation or you will not reboard. And
Have a good day. Thank you. Have a good day.
We're going to have a great day.
Have a good day. Have a good
We'll
day.
have a great day.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Yeah,
Nigga.
Federal Park is good.
Yeah, bye. Bye.
Thank God.
But this is what they do to us. They kick me off a plane, call me a fucking terrorist, and then they want to fucking ruin my life. For what? All just because I broke into the Capitol building and terrorized some elected officials. What's the big deal? Suck it, sugar. Suck it hard.
Let's freeze this flight.
You thought you was out.
It was the drag out for me.
She wanted to fight
It was
back.
the drag out
Like,
for me.
Why you want to fight? They got you, baby. You a handcuff. She never been in that situation.
Listen, and he mimicking him.
Prime examples of white
privilege. Mm-hmm. The first guy said, "You're treating me like I'm a black person." That was his word. He said, "You're treating me like I'm black."
I think that was from. I was old because I seen that before.
What the
The very first one they showed. I don't think that was from when they was taking them off the planes. But they stopped the bull and he was fussing and yelling, "Oh, can't you see what the hell's going on here?" There. So they're blaming big government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which they're saying is the Democrats, right, on stealing the election, of robbing them their country. But this is how they believed well before Barack Obama, right? They're in West Virginia, they're everywhere. They're in little pockets of the United States where they believe this shit. And they liked the fact that they had their white privilege. And they didn't give a fuck about what black people were dealing with.
I just love the government for letting them get on the plane like they boarded the plane. Yo,
Bought their tickets
You bought
and
your
everything.
ticket. You
Right.
done went
Yeah.
through TW.
Where their bags at right now?
What I say, it's like when you go to work and they fire you at the end of your shift. They knew they was gonna let you
They
go
on
yesterday.
the plane, they waiting for that joint to take off, and the fucking pilot came on.
Where is
Excuse me,
where
ladies and
is
gentlemen.
the bags though?
They ain't give them their bags back. Well,
They
most
check
of them
their
didn't come with bags.
They joints on the plane. Right.
Most of them didn't come with bags. You gotta
Excuse
remember
me,
they
ladies
came
and
for
gentlemen.
like an overnight stay.
They stayed at some nice hotels, man. That was paid for by anonymous
Whoever.
donor.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, they was going to do the joint.
Anyone that broke into the Capitol, please exit the
Capitol
plane.
joint on Wednesday.
Right.
They was spreading them out. They was sales.
Yeah.
They was terrorists.
They would, and that's why they're likening this to terrorists, right?
Yeah.
Because they came from wherever they came from,
wherever they
from
were-
planes,
To cause
from driving,
havoc.
from buses. The people that came from here rode a bus up. We got our
Delaware County
retired
had
firefighter.
Say it what it was. Say the firefighters.
I'm gonna say the retired.
Don't say firefighters.
It was more than
It's-
one firefighter.
It was well more than one firefighter.
Well, we don't know if they was from
I
Chester.
got-
We know
I got
for sure
family
one
members
was
that are
from Chester.
firefighters.
There's no way
I
in
have
hell.
friends that are
And we
firefighters.
know for
they
sure
never
one
roll
was from
alone.
Chester.
They never.
We
They
got
never
one-
roll by
They just keep
themselves.
trying to put the whole firefighting.
I'm not putting them
all
on
the
there.
firefighters
We got
on the
great
bus.
firefighters down here in Chester. I love these firefighters.
Police
These niggas
officers.
try to save lives. But don't
All
say
types
that
of
one
shit.
boy went down there by himself.
I didn't say he went down there by himself. He went down
What
there
he
with a
need to do
busload of
is-
people from Delaware
And
County.
he knew better than to throw that fire.
He
extinguisher.
knew better.
He
They
knew
like,
better.
"Man,
You
what the fuck?"
You couldn't have threw anything else, dog.
Why you throw a firefighter at the
fire
police?
extinguisher?
A
You
fire
should have
extinguisher
inspected
at
it
the-
or something. If anything, you should have grabbed it and held it in case a fire started.
They said it was
too.
cops too.
Right.
Yeah.
You had the young lady from, I guess she's from California. She was a real estate agent. She's asking for a pardon. The boy that had the mask on.
Why she on what grounds?
No,
on the grounds that she
Pierre.
did it
I sent
because
you another video, Pierre.
So check this out, right? Everybody that when everybody in the beginning, when Trump, all his homies was going to jail and the lawyer was doing this, the lawyer didn't testify, he pardoned all them people.
Yeah.
They
so
didn't
want him to
do no jail time.
Did they let
at
Trump
all.
back on social media?
No.
He's still not allowed back?
None of his homies that got sentenced, one guy got sentenced to 5 years. I think he did like 48 hours in that joint. Trump pardoned his ass.
Oh, Biden ain't doing that. Biden bought that jail life.
They only got to
Biden bought that jail life.
They
What
only
happened
got-
to the
And
one
they did
black
martial
guy that
law.
was there?
And
The
they
one that was standing in the middle.
Right,
of the
right.
Aren't they running
like,
martial
why
law?
was he there?
He never went
Looked
in
like
though.
Canaan.
He was in the building.
In the building?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's going to get caught.
Hey,
facial
Pierre, look at
recognition.
your joint while we talking too. I sent you a second video. But
I
Biden
just-
bought that jail life. Them niggas ain't coming out.
Here we go. Biden about that jail life.
He
They all
bought that
about that
jail
jail
life.
life. They all
that jail
Trump
life.
pick and choose who got pardoned,
Yeah.
and he picked them in specific for a reason. And we talked about it the other day. The one guy that killed all them people overseas, and he pardoned him from a life sentence because now he's going to be on his security team. Like, come on.
I feel like
He was looting.
For what Trump did though, right? For him to work in these buildings and for you to incite a riot to be around people that, let's say 3 years ago, those people that were working in that Capitol that you went in, they all worked for you. You came in, you spoke to them, you shook their hands.
No,
You knew-
actually,
no.
he didn't speak to him.
No, I'm just
you
saying.
You got to remember
Even-
that the way he talked about them as if they were poor white trash too.
No, all right. So let me take it back again then, Naf. Even if they never met him, they work for him. They work in these buildings for him. For you to send a mob, if I own McDonald's, but I send a mob in there to fight my McDonald's workers, and you know these are family men and family women, they gotta go home today. Like, what if that mob would have turned up just a little bit more
Right.
and burnt that building down with all them people in there? That would have been the most ignorant shit ever. You got these people, you put those people in harm's way for making it home that day.
It was less ignorant than anything else he's ever done. That's the most ignorant and
hell no.
disrespectful stuff to America, period. They voted him in here. They voted him in. They agreed with his terms.
Some of them people
they
in that
looked
building
at
didn't
him
vote
as
him in.
if
They
he
just
was-
went to a job. They went to a 9 to
They
5
went to
job
a-
that they
They
had.
went to a job. They agreed with him. They had the abilities to overturn some of the stuff that he said, some of the stuff that he spoke on. They turn his fucking mic off.
Hold on.
That's all. Turn his mic off.
Not
He
the
up there
people. I'm not talking
he-
about the people. I'm not talking about the people in Congress. I'm talking about the security guard that worked at the door, the old lady
That
that checks
that
her
stepped to the
bags
side
at
and
the
let 'em
desk.
in.
No, I'm saying, like the people, the janitor that works in the building that almost got
They
beat
were
up.
off.
The people that work in
were
that
what?
building.
They were off.
They were all over.
Motherfucker, they was in there
off.
running.
The ones that were still at work, the fact that they had enough time, they were notified that this was going to happen. That they were rallying up to get there. They knew this was going to happen. The FBI said they were supposed to storm every Capitol building in every state, right? So
Well,
they knew.
recently, right up until the inauguration, which is Wednesday.
So now the steps for the inauguration is different.
Right. They got shooters up there. They got riflemen.
We got 25.
This kind of reminds me of Scandal. This really reminds me of Scandal.
It definitely reminds you of Scandal.
Somebody's gonna get shot. Like, I don't know whether it's gonna be Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, and then it makes you think that Kamala Harris has something to do with that shit. So she can
Don't shoot
listen.
Harris.
It can happen.
Them sisters gonna step right on your neck. Don't shoot Harris. Don't do that.
Yo.
One thing about being a part of a fraternity, they coming. They gonna storm the Capitol for real.
I don't know. Nah. I just feel like
you don't know what, Kenny.
No, what I'm saying is I don't know if
Shut up.
it
Dante.
shows that only people that just had the guts to do this
get it done. If you don't have the guts to do it, if you don't feel like you're right, if you don't feel like your people have been abused for too long,
I like
and you
these
ain't gonna
left-wing
step up,
niggas.
It's gonna keep on happening.
I like these left-wing niggas, and I'm gonna use the word like niggas. I like these niggas. These niggas act like niggas. I like them. They said they was coming and they came. They slid up. They said, so listen, they told y'all months ago, they told y'all a year ago, yo, y'all do some funny shit with this president shit, we be down there.
He told him to stand by.
It's doctors
He
and
told him-
lawyers that
he
flew
told
in
him-
from Cali.
He said stand by. He said stand by and be
They
ready.
flew in from all over the world by the thousands.
It was 30,000
But
people
you
there.
risked your career. You have risked your career.
You gotta fall. You gotta.
I seen
be
niggas
willing
do
to
it all the
lose
time in the
something.
hood.
You gotta be willing to lose something. Like, and I think that's where
That's what the black
that's what we
community is
need
lacking.
right now. We gotta take on the Native American approach. We gotta be willing to lose everything so we could gain
Something.
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 Yeah.
And if we don't have that mindset, will always be behind.
Will
I don't
always
care how
be
many,
food, bro.
I
Will
don't
always
care
be
how
food.
many people we have. We have the numbers. We have the know for all. We know how to do things. We know how we technical geniuses. But guess what? Like you said, it's fear. Fear what?
Not for T. Why your hand up?
Because I was waiting my turn. to
Fear
speak.
of what? What are we scared of?
Not
like,
for T. You
we're
the
gonna
only
die?
woman in here. You the only woman in here. If you don't jump in
so-
and own your spot.
So you're saying that what we have to do, but it has to start with you. That's all I'm gonna say. Everybody keeps saying what we need to do as a whole, but it has to start with one individual.
So
I'm sorry, because I come from a man that walked in the trenches by himself. So I can't say that every man out here gets a pass. I watched my father walk through the roughest neighborhoods in our own personal city. I watched him go to other states and walk through those same rough neighborhoods that they tell you not to go in wearing certain colors. And he said he walked by faith. So therefore, if a man is going to say what we need to do, that man needs to step up and do it first.
So-
you got to be the leader in your own community. So here's the thing. You can't keep saying we,
I like
if
what you're saying,
you're
Nav.
not willing to.
I agree with you, Nav. So with you saying that, right? Do you see where my conflict comes with Martin? Because as a man, right? These people back then, like right now, certain shit that went back then ain't gonna fly right now. You ain't gonna walk into my neighbor's house and drag the father out and hang him in front of his family and burn him. And then Martin gonna walk up and say, man, nonviolence, let's just protest this.
I don't think
hold on,
that's how that
listen, hold on. It's been situations where the cops beat the shit out of somebody and kill them. And Martin said, nonviolence, we gonna march about this. And what I'm saying to you is right now, that shit ain't gonna fly. For me, I'm saying it as me as a man, myself. I ain't gonna speak for nobody else.
Right.
If they drag Pierre's son out the house and beat the shit out of him, guess what K Hunt gonna do? K Hunt gonna load up.
Well, guess
And
what?
we're not gonna go
guess
to
what the
we're
other
not gonna
person
go
going
to
to do?
Wawa. We're not gonna go to
But guess
Family
what
Dollar.
the other person going to do? Take a video.
I got
This
you.
is today.
I
Now
understand
today,
what you're saying.
you got to
But
put your
that was
phones
my
down.
conflict with Martin.
The conflict with Martin is in that time we didn't even have the guns to be able to fight back. In that time we didn't have the ability to protect one another. Once they took our men out of the house in that time, that was our guardianship right there. So guess what the woman did? Became submissive to that man that dragged her husband out of that house to protect her sons that was still there. Guess what? The neighbor stood there and watched on their lawn, peeked out of their curtains in that time. It wasn't a stand down situation. It was a stand for your own situation.
So what? So they was the phone then. The neighbors was the phone.
I think
The phone of what? They was peeking out the window.
Yeah, they was peeking.
They was
wasn't
scared,
doing, They
though.
wasn't doing nothing.
But they were scared. The neighbors, they were scared.
When?
In that time, when my neighbor got, hypothetically speaking, when my neighbor got pulled out the house, all I did was peek out the window and hope they wasn't knocking on my door next. I
But
wasn't going out there.
How do you stop that from happening if you don't go out there and say anything? Because they
Nobody
can knock
stop.
on your
You
door
can't
next.
stop it from happening
They
until
blew
you're
up a
willing to say.
They blew up a whole town.
No, they did
They
more than
blew up
blow
a whole,
They did more than that.
town in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called it Black Wall Street.
No. During the 1900s, from the 1900s to like 1945, if you look it up, they didn't just do Tulsa, Oklahoma. They did it in Georgia. They did it in Mississippi.
They did it in Florida.
They did it in every state. It was like a cleansing joint, they called it, which henceforth the movie The Purge came from. They went in these different towns and they eradicated black people.
Right.
As many as they could.
So now black people don't stand up and we fight each
They're
other.
scared.
But we fight each other.
We
You can't
fight
be
each
scared.
oth-
You
we
can't be
fight
scared
each
of
other.
confrontation and you fight each other the way we do.
fight each other. Why? We fight each other because
been
we
groomed
have
to it.
and because we have to make sure we are the best us. I don't have to make sure you are the best you. As long as I am who I say I am, I do what I'm supposed to do, then they will see me. They will not see you. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm fighting you for coverage. I'm fighting you for understanding. I'm fighting you because I need them to see me more than they see you.
See, the beautiful
So
thing
they
about
don't know
being
not
groomed
to
about
arrest me
something
or
else,
shoot me.
when we got groomed into this, Naf, you got to remember, man, this has been groomed in us. How many years was slavery in the United States of America? How many years did it happen for? However many years it was.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
450,
I don't know.
almost
But no, I'm
500
just
years.
saying to you, Naf, that it's just like a pit bull. People groom pit bulls for 10 years, and when they give you a puppy, that puppy acts like the grandfather acts like. So imagine they groomed that into us for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they groomed it into us, we can groom ourselves out of that system.
Okay,
We
so
can and we
where
do.
where does it start?
It's
Now?
been started.
When? Where? Tell me who are we looking to help us get to the next level? Who is saving our next generation? And that's the selfishness. So who is saving us as a whole? Like, this is what I'm saying. Who is standing in front of us telling us, listen, we got to stop being afraid of what's coming and take it. If you walk by faith, God helps you along the way. Who is standing in front of us saying that now? Who is telling you prayer is stronger than gossip? Because guess what? Gossip goes a far way.
He is.
Farrakhan?
I don't know. I don't listen to him. See,
I listen to him.
I don't. This is what I'm saying. I don't know what he's saying.
He's so strong at what he says, they banned him from Facebook. And they banned
before
him
they banned Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah, they banned him from all social medias.
So, for what? Because they don't want us to hear what he has to say?
Exactly. And he's not saying nothing crazy.
And then now, why is he not doing it like this then? Since he has the ability to build podcasts and upload it on for somebody else.
He actually does.
I don't hear him.
He does.
He actually does.
I don't hear him. It's not enough people out here to share him then. Because I'm sorry, I don't hear him. I don't hear anything that he says. I stopped the other day to buy a final call. The man act like he was scared to come across the street. I ain't gonna hit you. Can I get the paper?
Not for you a gangster. People scared to walk up on you. God damn, dog. Everybody don't want to walk up to Nafati.
Anywho, I don't care. I asked to buy the paper. I watched my father pull up and buy this paper every week. Every week. He read it and he kept going. So I figure I'm going to drive the man out here today. The man in the parking lot on the phone. He didn't even want to step in the street to bring me the paper. I just was like, all right, my light turned. I left. That's it. But it's all about dedication and due diligence. You got to go out here and do it. You can't be afraid to speak about it. You can't be afraid that somebody's going to hear you and want to hurt you because of what you're saying. Malcolm and Martin wasn't scared to talk about it. They wasn't scared to talk it out. They enter rooms that we'll probably never be able to step in with people that we'll never be able to speak to.
I feel like they enter rooms that one day we will step in. There's nothing that we will never do.
No.
Unless we set a standard that we will never do it.
We have to set the tone for our generations to come to be able to do those things. Because that's what he was doing. Yeah. He was preparing.
You know what our problem is as a body? We'll get a person that will speak out.
Mm-hmm.
Only point out his flaws.
Go ahead.
Not just that, but we'll be like Nafati said. Oh man, I can't back you. They gonna do this. They gonna do that. They gonna take this away from me. They gonna kill my this. They gonna kill my that. So if one person, if we have our hand right now, right, one finger is out. That one finger is exposed.
Mm-hmm.
But when we ball all our fingers up, it's a fist, and we could get a better punch with a fist than one finger.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, we just got to be to the point where, you know what? You know, I don't like to cuss on here, but I'm going to say it. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get to that mentality because they're already there. And our compassion and our love, just because of our makeup, I think it's just in our makeup that we're compassionate. It's in our makeup that we express love because
we're from God. We're the original
exactly.
people. Right.
So that's just in our makeup. So we're gonna think there's a B side to everything when all they are thinking about is the A side.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
if you affect my money, we're gonna get you out of here. And Martin Luther King, Malcolm X was affecting the bottom line.
But we so scared of not having what other black people don't have, that we will never affect their money. Because if that's the case, we should have been stopped spending with them a long time ago. I'd rather wear the Saks, the Yodam, the Black Shit Only by Macy Lago. I would rather wear all of that than to go and buy Gucci. Some girl complained about buying a $180 jacket from a black-owned business, but go and spend $500 in a Gucci store just to say she had it.
I feel like what you just said, right? I'm just saying it's going with what me and him are saying when it comes back to Martin again. That was the one flaw that I felt. He wanted to segregate. He wanted us to integrate, whatever the fuck the word is. He wanted us to be together, right? When we should have just been focused on ourselves, building ourselves stronger. I feel like what you just said says it again.
I never finished my sentence with you.
I don't care. I don't care. And we can fight about it in the parking lot afterwards.
We should have definitely got to.
We don't find a need to support one another as much as it is to look better than one another. That's my whole point in it. Mm-hmm. We don't see that. I'd rather tear you down to make me look good in hopes that Kenny gonna support me more than you.
Mm-hmm.
than for me and you to say, listen, inside of Macy's, they got everybody. And everybody's making their money because ain't nobody taking their stuff off the shelf. You don't see them covering up brands and putting a new one in there. Them same brands are still in there.
Well, Trump stuff is out.
I can't even. I just tried to reserve a room. I couldn't even reserve a room at the Trump Hotel.
I feel like Trump was good for us.
Trump Hotels is on sale though.
Good for the ones that were tired of being nice to black people and acting like they cared, right? Or showed you a little bit of racism every now and then. And then bad for those that didn't want you to know that this shit was still going on, right? Yeah. Right under this cover, it's a thin cover. Right under this cover, it's a bunch of motherfuckers underneath here. But, you know, this brings up, you know, why our city is the way it is, right? Why our school district is the way it is. Why our government is the way it is. Like they never expected for black people to be able to control anything. You look at every city that's ran by black people is in the pits.
No, not every city.
What name the city that's not?
I'll share it with you. It's this one lady. She's in Mississippi.
So is that
she's
selfishness?
No. I'm just saying she's a black real estate lady, and she bought like a whole. She bought
her own city.
She bought like a Chester worth of a city,
right?
And built all these black homes, and she built homes for low income people not to be able to do Section 8 and stuff like that. Like buy your first property, own your joint. She has storefronts and everything. It isn't just, we can't just say us a whole plethora of just black
You're
towns.
talking about one place, and there's
that's the only place I know of. I'm not going to talk on other places.
There's 50 states in America, right? And you're talking about one situation.
That's all I know about. That's all I know about. I'm not going to talk.
It's an example.
I'm not going to say, yo, it's going on everywhere. And
it's an example.
But it's an example. Is it an example that we can take on and then move forward? Can we sit here and say, all right, let's put together our people that are in charge of this situation underneath are the ones that are really in charge?
I got a question.
Because the people move shit.
Is she official, a law, a judicial official, or she just came in there with a lot of money and
she
said,
just came in with a lot of money and started flipping shit.
Yeah,
I'm going to send it to you.
That's not the same. That's not the same. He said in running the city, and it's not.
I feel like we're in a great position in Chester to do it.
Do what?
To run shit. I feel like we're in a great situation, and the reason I say that is this. How many of y'all know about what is it called now, Fati? The repository list?
Repository, judicial. The repository list right now got 3,000 homes on it. Go ahead.
And they start at $600 fucking dollars. I tell people about it every time they walk in the gallery.
Judicial now starts at 100.
I tell people.
1,000. I'm sorry, 1,000.
I tell people about this all the time. I say, man, you just getting your stimulus. You need to go right on the internet. You can you can go right on the internet and type it up, and it pop right up for you. Mm-hmm. They show you the houses, where they at, and you can just go and you go look at the repository. You don't even have to go to court for it.
No,
just come with your money.
No, that's not true.
You got to go to court for it?
No, you don't have to go to court for it. You have to bid on it.
Yeah, you have to bid on it. All right, I'm not saying just not the court.
You have to bid on it. And what they do is, it happens all the time. You can go and bid 601. If I bid 603, I'm going to get it. You understand what I'm saying? But they snatch them off the list. Once they see too many people looking into stuff, they start to snatch it off the list because they feel as though something is going on. Right. And we can't let them. I remember when I watched the Bulls of Feltonville buy the whole Feltonville. They brought a row of Feltonville was $3,000. The whole row. So that's 6 homes in a row.
I got cousins in the Gardens that did that.
Maine did that. And the moment they saw that happening, they saw us buying back our blocks, buying back our communities, they came in and they blocked the list. See, they'll tell you on the list certain things aren't available. Mm-hmm. So when you go to the repository list, you got to put in a bid. You got to give an explanation as to why you want to purchase this home. And in all honesty, they want you to own whatever property to the left or to the right of it.
I'm going to say from personal experience, it is a hard battle. It isn't like some easy shit, but what the fucking life is easy. Yeah. Me and Parson got a spot off of there. And it wasn't easy. You know, it wasn't like, even with the building that me and Parson have now, it wasn't easy getting it, you know? We had to go through ups and downs. Our own black people went against us, you feel me? But what's easy in life? You know?
So
and if
nothing is easy.
I feel like this is a great time. In black neighborhoods, white people, man, I heard this from Ben and Jerry and them themselves. They said when there's blood on the ground, the soil was cheap. That's true. What the fuck white people saying to each other.
That's the truth. That's why
they said when there's blood on the ground, the soil is cheap.
When we at our highest crime rate, like this summer, we was at our highest crime rate. I'm sorry. Our property value was at its lowest. They came in and brought shit that we didn't even know was for sale.
Yep.
And that's the truth.
We got weed stores on 2nd Street.
291, a brewery on 291.
They just opened up a second
None of
weed
that
spot
stuff
down
was
that
for
joint.
sale down there at one point in time.
Yep.
None of them
You
land.
didn't even know how to buy that side.
You couldn't buy that
Yep.
side. You couldn't buy them lots over there. Once they sold that lot by the soccer stadium where they made it to the parking lot, you knew everything down there was available. Where that lady at with that food truck, that whole lot right there getting off of the bridge, off of the Commodore Berry
across
Bridge,
from the Sunoco.
that joint was for sale. It was for sale for cheap too. Guess what? It wasn't never on a repository list. It wasn't never on a judicial sale. It wasn't even on a tax sale. You understand what I'm saying? People don't know how to look into realty on their own. They go look real estate on their own. They go find a realtor and get them to help them and pay them more money than what the property is actually worth. You can go around it. I'm not saying to knock them out of a job, but understand what you're doing. You're still making them rich while you're going to be in debt now because you owe this money to these people.
I tell people all the time, just like, I don't know. I remember when I first came home and me and you were talking, Naf, you explained a lot of real estate stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell these kids nowadays, you ain't got good credit. Fuck it. Character is better than credit.
My father taught me to buy everything with cash. We didn't use credit.
You can buy straight from the person that you're buying from. You don't have to go to a bank.
There you go. You don't have to go through the bank. To change the deeds is like $550. You can go to a agent and get them to do it and pay the thousands of dollars. But to change the deed, to change the paperwork, the transfer of paperwork, all you doing is going out there saying you pay X amount of dollars, paying the tax on it, paying the transfer fees.
A person can say he sold you the property for $1.
They can't do that no more.
Oh,
it has to be 500 at a minimum. But
yeah, it used to be
at the moment they put the paperwork, boom, it's in your name. It's in your name. But believe me, responsibilities come behind it. Don't forget to pay your taxes. In our area, you can pay $150 a month towards your taxes. And I mean county, city, school, and rubbish. Well, that all comes together. But you can pay it, and you've paid $150 a month. I'm not paying the Stormwater Authority.
Why you not paying the Stormwater
Because
Authority?
I didn't vote to have it.
We be having storms down here. Where did the water go?
I don't know. It's coming up on Edgemont Avenue and 291 is flooded every time you turn around. So somebody's not doing their job.
Can I please go outside and see somebody collecting my stormwater? I just need this drain been on my motherfucking mom's house since I was a baby.
It's not
and now
to
you want me to
collect
pay for where this water go at?
No, it's not to collect it. It's supposed to separate it. So
Where?
it accepts.
It's still going the same drain.
It sends it to the Delaware River.
One goes to the river and one goes to the recycled water system.
So Delcora was supposed to do it, right? Delcora was supposed
doing
to redo the pipeline from City Chester, from the reservoirs, wherever the rain goes to, right? And then it reaches the Delaware River. Those pipes hadn't been redone since 1950.
I'm just saying, on my grandma's house, it's the same drain, the gutter I got to clean out. The water go down it, it come out the side of the house, it go down the street to the sewer.
Right.
And you telling me it's a drain somewhere that splits it?
Yeah, it's underwater piping.
Okay.
Underground piping.
So how can you tell the difference between the two?
What you mean?
The two different types of water. I thought if it's only one water, if it's only one water system, how can you tell the difference between the toilet? How can you tell the difference between the two?
Just tell us, tell us, Pierre.
The two what waters?
What's going to storm and what's going to waste and what's going to recycle? How can they tell the difference between the two? I just need to know.
All water is recycled.
Okay.
Right. All water that we waste is recycled. You take a shit, you
flush
it.
So
that goes
so
where that goes.
When the water is coming down, right?
Right.
All right. So if you put red and blue M&Ms on a sliding board, right? And then at the bottom, the red go to the right and the blue go to the left. We can clearly tell that that's the red M&M over there and the blue M&M over here, right? How does the water?
All the drains that are for rain are outside. All the drains that are for bodily functions and things like that are inside, right? But they go down and they go down the pipe. So there's a pipe.
And they're eventually outside, right?
There's a pipe for sewage, which is the sewer, right? And then there's drainage, which is drainage, and they're connected.
Okay, all right, I got what you're saying.
They've been redoing.
I don't get that last part.
They're
Call me
connected.
slow. I
So
ain't
what?
get that last part.
I didn't get it, but I want to feel like I got it because sometimes
That's how I
Pierre
feel
says
about
intelligent
that.
shit.
Yeah,
So
like-
I'm with him. I'm like,
And
yeah,
then- and
word,
then
son.
What's waste,
Yeah.
storm, and regular
Yeah.
water? Like I just need
Okay.
to know how
I
it's
got
split
you.
up.
Because
it's only
sewage drain
supposed
never
to be
hit the
2 pipes
outside
on it.
drain, basically, is what you're saying.
So
a sewage drain never hits the sewer line that we
No.
see outside.
No, it never hits the storm water drain. The
Got
things
you.
that are sitting there that we look down in and be like, damn, if I fell down here, I'll be down here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So when I was watching Mr. Monk,
here she go.
What you gonna call it? Dante gonna say somebody tagged Daddy, he blocked me.
He definitely blocked you down there.
so when I was watching Mr. Monk and he was underwater, underground in the sewer,
Right.
the part where they say it's separated.
Right.
When that toilet flushed, it came right down into that same sewer line.
That-
When
that's
he
the
went
sewer-
down,
that's the
when
sewage
he
line.
went down the rain thing, he went down the one side where they put the
Oh, y'all about to fuck up my childhood. Not for T.
What?
What part of the sewer was the penguin in then? Was he in poop? Or was he in stormwater authority?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how you gonna make me pay you to separate something that you should be doing to keep us all healthy anyway? And then why didn't we vote on it? This is why. I'm telling you,
Nah,
we're not
for T,
until
what about the
Widener-
Ninja Turtles? Where was the Ninja Turtles
That's
at? Was
what
they
I
around
said.
poop or was they around stormwater?
Exactly. And they was having pizza delivered down there. Like, come
Come
on.
on,
The
dog.
pizza was delivered up top, though, yo.
Well, just where was they at though, dog?
That was storm
They was
water.
killers in a half
That was
shell.
the storm
That
water.
was storm water.
Okay, so
Right.
the stormwater is bad. So when our,
The stormwater isn't
grandparents
bad, it
set
isn't
pots
clean,
outside to catch the rain,
The stormwater
and brought it in
isn't
the
bad.
board,
It
the
isn't
boiler.
clean, though. That's
so
why you
that's why they
boil it.
boiled it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I just need to know.
Got you. All right, this shit deep.
Ashley said,
Shit
"Who was Daddy
is
Daddy?" All I'm saying is, I'm not paying it. We had the right to vote on it. You don't just insert a new bill into a city and think that
Shit.
we're supposed to just accept it. I'm sorry. I'm mad that the sewer bill just went from every 6 months to every 3 months, and it's the same price.
And this is
People are
Delcora?
not Delcor.
Well, Delcor sold all that shit to
Delcor.
Aqua.
Delcor. It says Delcor on my bill
Aquafina?
still. They have not completed the merger. So it's Delcor every
got that
3
money?
days. I don't know. But I'm mad because I don't like
Tell
the
'em why
every
you
3
mad.
months. I don't like the
Tell
every
'em why
3
you
month
mad.
situation. I don't like the fact that I was paying every 6 months $162,
Mm-hmm.
and now every 3 months I'm paying $162. Didn't they promise us our rates weren't going to change?
Mm.
Didn't they promise us that we would not be affected by this merger for at least 2 to 5 years? We ain't even 6 months in.
Damn, you had that shit.
Listen, I'm saying because I was paying attention because I said the seniors would be affected before before we will be.
Absolutely.
So when the seniors are complaining, listen, I just got my sewer bill 3 months ago and it was $56. And then 9 months ago, it was $56. Tell me how am I not affected? Now I'm paying double.
Well, we're giving you better services now.
Where? It's not better service.
In your sewage, you can't see it. You want to go down there
I
and
would like to
check it
go
out?
see it.
You
Take
want to go
me
check it
down
out?
there.
Right. We're doing more things with your dirty water. We're cleaning it.
Yeah.
We're adding more chlorine.
Listen, and I'm looking at it, the water bills. The water rates have gone up. The CWA rates have gone up. If you
The
have not,
water bill
I'm
went
paying
up?
attention. Damn
Wait
right,
a
the
minute,
water
how does-
rates.
wait a
went up.
minute, if you're
by
collecting
like $5.64
stormwater and
every
recycling it,
day.
You're not recycling it. You're sending it out to the Delaware River.
But the Delaware is hooked to trash or steam into a fucking trash. In Delaware, there's a whole trash company that's connected to the water. It's right on the side of the water if you go down 495. And in Chester, there's a trash or steam place that's hooked to the water. So you're gonna clean the water and then put it in dirty.
They're gonna put bleach droplets in it.
Called filters.
And then you put it inside water that's already contaminated.
You're talking about our water. We got the best water.
We do. We got the
Okay.
best tasting water in
So-
Pennsylvania to me. Unless we going to directly to a spring, we got the best tasting water in Pennsylvania, and it already has
You know what
fluoride in it.
usually makes water taste good?
What?
Chemicals. I'm sorry to tell y'all that.
Well, I don't want water that tastes like
I'm not
the
saying that none of you guys have never tasted like pure spring water or like not pure spring water, just pure water. Just any type of water, like glacier water.
But there's no water without minerals in it. There's no water that doesn't have. If you go up
That
to a
doesn't have
spring,
chemicals in it?
A deer has pissed in the fucking water.
No. So I said chemicals.
A raccoon has
So
pissed
you
in the
telling
water.
me they lean over the?
That's why it's called Deer Park.
Okay. You know.
So can we talk about Spike Lee movie now? I mean, because y'all got to give me the gist of what's going on.
The best movie. It's going to be the best movie of the decade.
All right, so the breakdown of the movie is...
if nobody can make a better movie, it's the best movie of the decade, Pierre. I fucking said it. I'm betting stacks on that shit. I bet y'all stimmy on it.
Right.
A better movie.
Right.
I'll bet y'all stimmy checks, y'all next $1,400 y'all about to get, put it to the side. Let's bet.
So we have
I don't got nobody making a better movie for the rest of the year.
Who's a Iraq War veteran, right?
Mm-hmm.
He comes home, he gets a good job at a school district, so he can get his son into the school district.
He lives in a good neighborhood.
He doesn't live in a good neighborhood, but the job is in a good neighborhood.
Okay.
I thought he was living in a mid-class neighborhood.
No, he was picking his son up from the friend. No, he lived in a poor neighborhood because he was a janitor at the school. You know what I'm saying?
I missed that part.
Him and the wife broke up, halfway through the kid's life. The kid was like 12 years old, 13 years old when they broke up. They get pulled over by these two cops. So the one cop pulls him over asking for license and ID. He gives that license, but the registration, the insurance is expired. The car
the paper that he had was inspired. There was another paper in there that showed that he tried to
right.
reach
He said
for
it. He said it was it proven? Is later proven in court that the shit wasn't expired. So the dad gets mad. He wants the cop to face trial. The grand jury comes back, no trial. So then the father says he got a young man that came there to record him. He was like, man, we're going to go to the courthouse. We got to get a petition signed, trying to get the captain. Now, the captain is black. The captain comes in there and talks to the mom. First person he goes to is the mom, not the dad, because after the grand jury said not guilty,
the city
went crazy, right? They started setting things on fire. So they go to the mom and say, listen, just come out and say, please stop. We don't need all this. Go straight to the women. Don't come to the man. So the mom goes out there and says, listen, we want peace. We need peace. We don't want to do this. The dad then grabs the film crew up. He's going over to the police department. He goes in the fucking captain's house, kidnaps the captain, put the captain in the back of the car. Now the people that are filming the situation are driving him to where he needs to go. He goes to his homie. Ghost is in the movie. He got cancer. He about to die, so he with whatever. They all Army vets, though. They all homies.
Okay.
Right?
They go to the police station. They take over
the police station.
Dropped out a couple key points in that whole thing.
Go ahead. Well, you tell it.
The film crew, he didn't go get the film crew. The film crew wanted to make a story about this guy losing his son. And they were going to submit it to you know how they have film festival every year? And they said, if this film is good enough, the world will get to see it. So now they're filming him every day in his family.
Wait, he lost his son how?
He lost, you didn't even tell how he lost his son. When the cops pulled them over, the son had a cell phone. The guy kindly told them, as they pulled him over, he's like, yo, it's my son. He's 14 years old in the car.
Wow.
He says, here's my license registration. The cop says, yo, this is expired. He said, listen, if you let me, I'll go back in my glove box. I have the right registration paper for it. He said, nah, just get out the car. The black guy gets out, the father gets out the car. Boom. The son, they tell the son to get out the car. The son is like, I'm recording. The cop pulls his gun out right away. What you got? He's like, it's a phone. The dad is begging the cop. He said he's a 14-year-old kid with a cell phone. He's yelling at his son, please put away the phone. The son gets out the car, tries to get, the cop is slamming him on the car. He moves away from the cop dumps 3 shots in him.
Wow.
Prior to this whole thing, they set it up whereas though the son was trying to tell his friends on the internet one day and the dad stopped him. He said, yo, you're allowed to fight for your rights. You have the rights to certain things. Right. And the dad came in and told him, you don't have them rights.
Didn't American Son say that?
When the cops tell you, listen, he said that to us. You got to watch the movie.
No,
the dad is like a real black dad right now.
On American Son, the cop said, you don't have any rights. The only right you have is to listen to what I'm saying at this moment.
That's what the regular dad told the son. He said, listen, man, if we ever get pulled over, just do what the cop says so that we live and we both make it home.
Right.
The son didn't do anything outrageous. All he did was have his phone. As soon as the cops pulled him over, the son did what kids do in 2001, right?
He grabbed his phone.
He grabbed his phone. The cop killed him. So
shot him 4 times.
Wow.
Everybody is in an uproar over this shit. The dad, what they don't show you is that the whole time it's a setup to where the dad is like, he couldn't take it. He lost his son. The dad and his group of friends grabbed the captain and run in the police station.
Now they put the cop on trial.
They put the fucking cop on trial.
Using 6 inmates and 6 workers. They found him guilty.
And I don't want to tell you, don't just not spoil the part right there.
So it's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime.
I had to pay for it last night.
I made him pay for it.
Right. So
For Prime?
Yes.
Or for
I don't have Prime.
You got to it's like $6.99.
You got to rent the movie.
If Kenny would have called me and told me to watch it, I would have.
It was so good. Now, if I watched that shit twice last night, I had to watch. Yo, this shit was so deep. I called as many people as I could, but I wanted to watch the movie.
Right.
This shit will affect every black home ever.
I got a text last night.
Spike Lee movie?
Hey sis, let Cheeks watch
American Skin.
American Skin. And I said, okay. Did you watch Lupin? Lupin?
Yeah, I watched that the other night.
So that's what we're watching now.
That's a series, ain't it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, we got in a conversation and they said it's very important that you allow Cheeks to watch American Skin. So I'm like, okay.
Did you watch Nafati? How old are you? You're my age, right? We the same age. You younger. You like 25. I'm just asking. When listen. When what was it?
It's called American Skin.
When Do the Right Thing came out, right?
We can agree. To see that?
Oh, you didn't see it?
I did see it eventually, but I wasn't allowed to see it.
Do the Right Thing, even though that was a New York story, it related to Chester a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the Italians, the store, the way an Italian store was ran, the way a Chinese store was ran.
Mm-hmm.
If you was from the hood, it related to you.
Okay.
Spike Lee went on further when he made Jungle Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Around that time, black niggas we was going to Pulsations and the Shark Bar and CNN skating ring. It related to it.
Discovery.
Yeah, when I say this bull touched everybody, fuck them movies. This movie trumped all the movies. He made a movie that really touches
now.
Because here's the thing.
The current climate.
I don't
right
understand how people are living after their children are killed. And this is a very, very sensitive topic for our city, period. Because I remember someone saying, I don't see how you can I don't see how you can I don't know how you feel, but I feel bad for you. And the reply from the person was, don't ever imagine how I feel, because it's a feeling you never want to feel.
I think that they're the strongest people. I think people that live past their kids are the strongest people in the world.
They have to be.
I know people that have lost their kids to street violence and stuff like that now.
Right.
And I think that they are the most strongest. They should be the most uplifted people in the world, because it's very easy. It's very easy for me right now to take a gun and go kill you.
Right.
It's very much harder for me to live
After
365 days of a year for the next umpteen years every day and not to blow your fucking head off.
Right. So that dad losing it is how I would feel. In my opinion, I always say I can't live without my children.
Oh, you got to watch the movie. He didn't go for pro-death. Oh, no, Nafati.
No.
This nigga was strategically smart.
Right.
You got to watch the movie. I don't want to spoil it
I'm
for
gonna
you.
watch that movie.
Yeah, you gotta watch
This
I'm
nigga
gonna call you
oh,
today.
nah. This bull ain't go on a death mission.
No.
He didn't go on a death mission.
No, I'm not saying going on a death
He
mission.
went on a death mission.
He went on a death mission, but not for death.
But not for death. Not that he wanted to
answers,
take
or
lives.
he wanted to.
He wanted
he represents
that.
strong. He represents you, Mike Martin.
Yeah.
He represent Pierre.
Yeah.
He represent
Yeah.
fathers that
Right.
care about shit changing.
Yeah.
More than just murder. Yo, you gotta watch it.
But it shows at the end of the day, like we're not the animals.
This
Yep.
is true.
We are not
Never
the
been.
animals.
Never
We've
been.
never been the animals. And when you allow animals to call you animals, then it kind of turns you into an animal.
if you
right?
believe it, yeah.
Right? If you believe it. So now we can't build anything because we're animals. We can't follow anyone because we're animals. And there's no pecking order. Oh, you ain't bad enough, or you ain't tough enough, or I know somebody that can. It's constantly on that type of time. And this is why people don't want to leave, right? This is why people don't want to come out their shell and do anything positive, because there's so many people in our situation that say, I don't fuck with him. I don't fuck with her. She ain't shit. Man, listen, I tell you, come to the radio station. Anybody. I don't give a fuck who you are.
I feel like they made it so that if you act like an alpha, or if a woman acts like a superior black woman, then they label it animal. You know? If a woman right now, if her seed is hurt, if something happens to your daughter right now, Naf, and you go and you react on it, they say, ooh, you acting like an animal. No, you're just acting like a superior woman. You're acting like a woman that protected her kid. Just like a black male. If you want to protect your wife and your kids and you go act on it, when you act aggressive and when you speak up, they say, "Ooh, you an animal." No, I'm not an animal.
So what you saying is white people don't protect their children.
They don't like our aggressiveness.
No. White people definitely
They
protect
definitely
their children.
protect their children.
They don't go
And I'm saying
and
they're
want retaliation for what happens to their children.
They don't know. I didn't
don't
say
nothing
that.
happen
I said
to their
when
children.
So
when they point at you,
they just look at it. They just grieve and
I'm
keep
saying,
it moving.
No, I'm saying when they point at you and you do what they do, then you're the animal.
Right.
They tell you you're the animal and you believe it. Like, oh shit, I'm acting like an animal. No, you're not acting like a fucking animal. You acting like any species on the planet. Guess what? I watched it. Here you go. The Nature Channel, right? Do you know that when bears have babies with the mama bear, that the father bear leaves?
Mm-hmm.
These aren't like lions or anything else. The father bear leaves. And you know how you see all these other bears? It's because the mother bear fights men for the rest of the cub's life until the cub is grown enough to leave. I say that to say they make it to blacks as though if I protect my kid, when these little girls try to jump my kid at school, or when the teacher says something that's out of line, and I come and I check that fucking teacher, don't you ever fucking say nothing to my daughter like that again. They say, "Ooh, you acting like an animal."
I think it's the way we say it. So I was standing in the kitchen with the kids.
There's no
the other
proper
day.
way to say it.
It is a proper way to say it. Excuse me, the manner and tone that you took with my child is inappropriate.
She has
and very
She has
ineffective.
experience.
I had to poke the dance teacher in the face.
She's done it. She's done it every way to the point where she's like, you know what now?
You
I
went
get
from
it.
0 to 100.
The kids, I'm walking down the hall. And we had parent teachers conferences, so I'm walking down the hall and I hear this voice, and I keep hearing this after every sentence, right? And the lady says, and I quote, "Cause Chester ain't got nothing on North Philly, sweetheart." And I'm like, I know this is not an adult talking to a child. Well, when I get to the exact hallway, it's an adult talking to a little cousin of mine. And she is like moving her head, snapping her neck. And I'm looking at her like, you don't even look like these kids. And this is how you're talking to them because you feel as though you should. So I say, so what does Chester have to do with North Philly that makes us so different? Like, why are you comparing the two? And why are you talking to these kids like that? She turned around to me and say, I wasn't talking to you. My finger went slamming her face. First of all, you was talking to a kid. Because it's like I immediately jumped into a defense of a child, right? But this is how they feel as though they can relate to our children. Mm-hmm. This is how they feel as though they can. And when there's nobody around, we don't even listen to our children when they come home and tell us what Miss So-and-so said. Mm-mm. So when I'm like, sweetheart, you're not going to just talk to these kids. Like when I say she immediately quit her job that day, she didn't even report that I poked her in her face. Because I'm like, because next time I hear you talking to a kid, it won't be my finger. But then I did look like the animal. Because guess what the kids said? Because mommy, the way mommy handled that teacher and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking, but I don't know no other way to handle her. Right. Because I want to get my point across so quickly, I have to say it and handle it in the way that I know how. I need you to know that this is the consequence for your actions. This is, you talk to them kids this way. So guess what? They would look at me as if I was acting like an animal at that time. But now here I am, years later, it's like, listen, I don't even really understand why you did it that way, because the old me would have handled it this way. But this new refined me just wants to have a conversation with you so I can understand your side. I might not like it, but I'm going to listen to it. And that's how it's going.
Understanding a person's frame of mind
is
lets you
important.
understand their actions.
Just because I yelled at you didn't mean that I was angry with you. I yelled at you because you weren't listening and you only can hear the screams. Right. So I'm willing to listen to you. Okay, so we won't have this issue again, right? This is what you're saying. Okay, so as long as we won't have this issue again, we good. And that's that.
I just want to say, don't ever walk in on Pierre while he engineering the show. I don't care how mad he gets. He farts in the room when he analyzes stuff. This is reality TV, Pierre. I gotta say shit. He farts in the room when he's engineering by himself, and it's not nice. Not nice.
Oh my God.
This thing is disrespectful.
CMP Radio.
It's just. But these are the things that we deal with as black people, right? And
we'll forever deal with, in my opinion.
I don't think we'll forever deal with them.
No, because we got to die eventually.
You stood up.
We got to fight for change.
You saw the teacher talking to that child. Mm-hmm. What would have happened if you wouldn't have said nothing to her?
then she would have continued to talk to the children like that.
What would have happened if you wouldn't have said nothing to her?
Exactly what I just said.
She would have continued to. So if we do nothing,
nothing happens.
Nothing happens. So we have to do something.
So if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Nothing changes. So I don't care. And everybody like, oh, we would have died. They would have shot everybody. I don't really think the American government can get over shooting thousands of people like that.
Yeah, but what happens when you notice that one was shot? You look down, you like, damn, they just got shot. Do you
five white people died?
Do you go back that way?
One
Out
was
of
an
how
officer.
many?
One was an officer,
And they went there with the
and how
ideal
many-
of knowing that this can happen.
How
they
many?
didn't think they were
No.
going to.
Oh,
They
no.
definitely didn't think they were going to die.
Gonna
No,
die.
no.
They
But what
thought
I'm
they
saying
were gonna
is,
walk in
hold
there,
on,
do
hold
what
on,
they
man.
want, and
That
leave.
lady
Even
didn't
if you
climb
put
up.
me, even if you put me in white skin right now, and we say that we're about to storm the Capitol, we're about to start a civil war, what they've been talking about
On homeland.
on homeland,
With no
we
guns?
know that
They don't
somebody's
have
going to
no
die.
guns.
No, they did have guns.
So they-
Some of them did have guns.
So if they had guns, then it would have been more shots. Nobody came there with the reason to take it over. They just said go down there and see them. Then you had a couple motherfuckers pushing past. Then
Black Lives
everybody,
Matters didn't have any guns.
when they pushed past, they was like,
And it
"Fuck it,
was-
we might as
it
well
was
go in.
Thousands of
We might as well go in now."
Guards
and
out
all that
there.
policemen,
Black
all that
Lives
down there.
Matter didn't have any guns.
The government-
They came arm in arm with their hands extended where you can see them, and yet they were to be stopped before they got to a certain
We came
point.
with compassion and love.
The government gets
The
away
wrong
with
goddamn
killing
way to
black
come.
people every day.
We came with compassion and love, bro, and that's what happened.
Kill them all, put them in one
Yo,
mass
listen,
grave.
if you want to read a good book, go read Genghis Khan. Go read Genghis Khan's book.
And as long as we keep on having that we gonna die, let's not do it.
No, you got to be willing to die.
That's what
it can't be that
there it
we have
is.
that we go and die mentality
is.
and I'm not ready. You have to know that everything you've done before today is enough to get you to the passage that you're trying to get to. You have to be willing to die. I'm going to die for mine.
Right.
I said my son stood on that corner and I got out there with him because I'm willing to take the shot before it gets to you. I'm willing to die for mine, but I'm also willing to die for yours too because I was standing out there without only my son, but 3 other young men from the same community. So you have to be willing too. But the thing is, I'm a woman. I can't be standing out there by myself. It should have been men locked arms across the walkway that are willing to die so that those young men can have a life and a future. Nobody is willing to do that. I'm sorry. Y'all can keep saying what we need to do as a whole. Me as an individual, I'm willing to do it, but I'm a woman.
I'm saying I know men that are willing to do it. I know men that have been doing it.
I saw men get torn down out there doing it. The man said the bull spit in his face. He said he walked away and never went back. I'm thinking I would have knocked the shit out of him. That's number one.
While your father was alive and I first came home from jail, your father inspired me to go do it. Me and Pierre was going and doing it for a minute. I've been in neighborhoods where we shouldn't have went at to tell people, yo, like this ain't the way.
But we can't only go one day.
No, I'm just saying, so I'm not pointing at myself or Pierre to say that we did it. I'm just saying that even when we were doing it, I met other men that were willing to do it.
Right.
It's just that
But
remember Malcolm said that we're not organized.
Right. It's
So-
no organization, but you
and
have
Mike
to get
even just
started.
said it with the fingers.
You have to get started in order to see where the organization comes from. These meetings, these conversations that's being held, it's not enough.
It's
the
not.
showing up one
Far
day,
from not enough.
The showing up one day is not enough. To only going when it's high violence going on, it's not enough. Because as soon as the calm comes, everybody gets back comfortable and goes back home and sits in front of their TV and waits for the next 5 people to die.
So listen to
you
this.
You have to make
Here
it
we
so
go,
that the
Naf.
next
You
person
just said it.
doesn't die.
You just said it again, though, Naf, and I agree with you. So what happens is we have every now and then in different men's moment in different parts of the city, right? We have men that have these sparks in them. Damn, I gotta go do something. It don't gotta be your family dying or nothing. It's not that many Calvin Williams that will show up to every situation. I was inspired by your dad, right? Because
they tried.
I came to every fucking. Yo, I had a lot of friends dying when I first came home from jail.
Right.
And I said, what the fuck? What? I said, Mr. Bayard, yo, at every joint, he right there. I didn't care if it was Muslim or Christian. He there saying a Christian prayer. Yo, we gonna get together. We gonna pray for this little kid.
Right.
Whether he died on a 4-wheeler, whether he died by a bullet, whether he died by a heart attack, he was right there.
Right.
I said, damn, where does this nigga get this energy from? And me and Pierre would talk about it.
It was few in
Hold
him
on.
from where he came from, though.
So I
he
say that
know
to
he
say
was
this,
a
though,
part of the
Nav.
problem, so he had to put himself to be a part of the solution too.
It is a very, and me knowing your father, right? And I was seeing him every day. Every morning I would see this guy that would come pray with me. I don't know why. I would see him at the bank. This nigga had to have money. Calvin had that old 1970 money. I'm gonna tell y'all that he did. Because every morning I'd be opening up the gallery, he'd be going to the bank, and he would stop and pray with me every fucking morning. I'm like, this shit is phenomenal. This is a phenomenal ass man to have this energy to go out to every day somebody died in fucking Chester. And he would show up there. And I said, I don't think it's hard. That's 1 in a billion. It's 1 in a billion for somebody to want to be at every funeral, to be at every sighting when somebody gets killed, to when the parents are crying and the neighborhoods is fighting. This nigga standing there like, hey man, we need to figure this out.
Can we also say it was for free?
Absolutely.
It took his life. It was a part of his life.
The crazy part is he didn't have fear in him.
It was for
He
free, bro.
didn't have fear in him. He didn't have fear in him when he was in the streets. He didn't have fear in him when he was in the pulpit. That man had faith. Every time you turned around, he didn't care if you didn't want to pray. He had this grip on your shoulder that will hold you there. You're going to listen to what I got to say, and then you can leave. He didn't allow you to speak when he was speaking. He demanded respect when he walked in the room. So when he walked in different neighborhoods, he genuinely showed love. He wasn't looking to gain anything in return.
And I say
he
that,
was looking to save you for that moment. How many kids your dad
got?
Enough.
No, seriously. How many kids your dad got?
3.
He got 3. So if you want to say that your father has 3 kids, right? I got 5 kids, right? And it's hard. No, listen to what I'm saying. I know. We already know this. But what I'm saying is, I can hardly find the time for all my kids.
He has 13 children.
Imagine he got 13 fucking kids, right?
13.
I commend him because I can't find it in myself to be able to take care of my family and still have time every day and work every day and do everything, all the obligations I have to do, and to get a phone call and say, okay, I'm on my way there to handle this.
You know what's so
this
crazy?
Prayer for this family.
People would really they've really started to like.
I got niggas that I love and I don't go see them when they die.
The funeral home hired him. Mom, come on with the 4 stuff. I said 3. I didn't even name 2 of yours. So,
God damn.
So, she can guarantee that. That's all I'm saying. So, I forgot what I was going to say.
The funeral home hired him.
The funeral home hired him because he would be at the funerals and control the crowd. So the funeral home offered him a job. And like it's just a certain, you don't want to let go of your loved one. You're so selfish that you love them so much that you have to keep a hold on them. So you don't want to let them go. So they would drag out the funerals and he would just be there at the funerals and just help. When I went into his home after he passed, I found a box. Y'all, if you missing a program from one of your loved ones from 82 all the way till 2019, it was full of programs. I called people, I said, listen, I don't know if you want it, but I got it. If you would like the program from your mom, your daughter, your grandma. The man had so many programs that he had been to these services. I was at like 200 programs before I stopped counting. He just was there. He genuinely cared. But he's one of the few men that I can say
I'm giving him his praise. I give him his praises, and when I say that, I say Nav, or even with any of us in this room right now. Everybody in this room I vouch for as being great parents. I vouch for everybody in this room for being great parents, for being great members of the community. Do you have the energy to go out every day? I just had a friend that died the other day, right? And I grew up with him, and I don't have the energy to even go speak to his mom.
See, but it's not about energy.
No, it does.
It's about
energy is a big part of it.
Because
energy is a big part of it.
I saw my dad tired. I seen him run down. At one point in time, I was jealous because he was sharing more of him with the streets than he was with us.
Either one of the two. I think is.
Don't you say love, Mike? I'm gonna book the shit out you today.
It's not love. It's
you gonna say love? See if she hit you. Say love and see if she hit you.
I'm not even gonna say love. It was. I'm saying
it was a call.
It was God ordained.
It was his
job. It was his job to do. And he felt as though who better else to do it but me. You know, I'm gonna get that call in the middle of the night. He was doing that job, Pete, that we were supposed to do way before it was a job. Right? You know what I'm saying?
He didn't.
But see,
he didn't say who better than me. He said it's because I was supposed to.
So
if you ever heard
that's
his
what Mike just
testimony,
said.
No, but he didn't say
It was ordained.
But he said that
it
to
was
me,
ordained.
having a conversation. It's like, because I asked these questions like, yo, bro, like you was at every funeral I'm at, and I'm not even at a lot. I'm playing at a lot of funerals, but you're there, and I know you at other ones.
Yeah.
So why? He's just like,
I want Pierre to stop
God.
breathing in that microphone like that.
God,
Let me just
this
move.
guy
You
just
over there
told me.
sounding
He
like you
said,
snoring,
he
bro.
said in the middle of the night back in the 80s, like God just woke him up and was like, yo,
This
I
what
need
you
you to
have to
do
do.
this for this city.
This is what
That's
you
what
got to
have
do.
I had a conversation with him when I first started the radio station. I don't want to talk about it, but to know what your purpose is your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that was his life. Right? So
Man, y'all don't know that man. That man did a lot.
He did do a lot.
He did a hell of a lot.
He did a hell of a lot.
If you ever heard his testimony, it was one of the greatest testimonies I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
And I was in awe of him to be able to tell his own story. That's the problem. People are so in fear of judgment, they won't tell their own story. So
Tell
when
that
he
shit.
said he left 2 ounces of Coke on the corner and walked away, he meant I've been through your storm.
Right.
I just didn't stop and get stuck in that storm. When he said the Coke was still there like 2 days later because people was in fear of him, so they wouldn't touch it. They knew it was Bayat, so they wouldn't touch it. But when he walked into the embrace the presence of Calvin, it was a completely different. Like let me tell you, that man was a great man, and I can finally have a conversation about him and realize how wonderful he was and don't cry. You understand what I'm saying? Because I used to be jealous that I had to share him with all of y'all. I did. I was like, why you going there? What you doing that for? Aren't you tired? Go home and go to bed. And then he'll sleep for 20 minutes and someone else will call him and he'll get up and go for that person too. And I totally understand because at one point in time I was with him and I would see how these families needed him. And I would be like, don't you got your own dad? And one girl said, your dad been my dad since I was 4.
That's how it went.
Yeah, I ain't like
that's the type of nigga he was. Excuse me,
I ain't
I'm
like
not nigga. He wasn't a nigga, and I'm not even gonna ever use that word with him again. But when he was a gangster, he was a nigga. But what I'm saying is, that's the type of person he was. He was, Nav.
He was.
And when I say that, so now I'm just saying that to transfer over to this though, Nav. It's not a lot of people. When I said energy, I meant energy from me because I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. It would drain me.
If they called, you would go.
If
as simple as that.
When they call, I'll go. He didn't have to get a call. He just went.
No, he got a lot of calls that got him to get up to go. If he was sitting there and he was resting, at some point in time I said, you got to turn your phone off. He said, I can't. I said, why not? He said, because there's always someone. No matter what.
So-
and nights when he said, I got 4 hours worth of sleep last night, it was a good thing.
That
to
was
get
his
4
calling. I
hours.
feel like Mike Martin said. That was something the creator, God, Allah, whatever one you want to call it, the universe had molded him to be at that time. You only get those people once every biblical moon. You know?
So when
you only got a Martin once every biblical moon. I'm sorry that we didn't speak enough on Huey. Because Huey did a lot. Huey did so much
how
for
you
the
gonna
for
say
the
once
black.
every biblical moon and they were all in the same category?
I was going to say, so when we get our
Huey,
next
Martin,
biblical-
Malcolm.
And they were all from different parts of the biblical moon. They were all in different parts of the United States doing what they were doing, right?
Yeah, but it was all at the same time, right?
Right.
Huh?
It was all within the
I'm
same.
not going to put Reverend
Biblical
Al
moon
Sharpton with him.
gives you time.
We not putting Sharpton with him. His haircut was wrong.
I
Didn't
wouldn't
even
put
fit.
Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson with him. And we had a
Yeah.
we had a whole. I had a whole debate with C's before he left. He was like, "Man, Jesse Jackson." I said, "Jesse Jackson ain't done shit for us.
Nothing.
Al Sharpton ain't done nothing for us, but for himself."
Well, I feel like what Huey did was very strong for us because
Absolutely.
there wouldn't be Wick without Huey.
Right.
Wick was was not just Huey, but Huey's other partner from the Black Panthers. What they invented was very serious for the black community, and
Right.
white
It
folks
was
seen
needed.
it and said that,
It was
oh
fucking
shit, we
needed.
should do the same thing.
Absolutely.
I feel like the leaders of the Bloods and Crips, what they did for the black community in California was very serious.
The initial.
Part of
Right.
it. Because the initial part of it was no one is seeing these cops kill our kids and
Right.
beat us the fuck up. So we got to police our own community,
Right.
which has never been done to this day. What I don't want to say his name wrong, but the leader of the move did. The leader of the move said, yo, wait a minute. Y'all don't need welfare. We going to tax everybody black in these communities, and we going to take care of ourselves.
Right.
So why do you think we don't do that now today?
Because we done learned. The move, people, they got bombed.
The fear.
Fucking Huey
Is it-
got killed.
Is it the fear?
Is
the fear of it happening to us?
It's a fear and it's a resonance of
It's
I
the
can't talk. When you cannot talk to your people and they understand why you're moving,
you can talk to them. I can talk to any black person.
You can.
No, anybody can. I'm not saying me.
Blacks block blacks,
I can talk to any black person, right? And tell them, listen, what we need to do. They'll be in agreement right then and there. And
you said your dad was out there by himself.
He
you said he was out there by himself.
Different caliber of person. So
then who?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to need Mike Martin to speak up more here.
No, I'm listening because I'm hearing all sides. It's everything. Like, we have a real serious problem with somebody being in front of us and we behind them. Right. We have a problem.
I ain't following them.
We have that.
I'm not a follower.
Exactly.
I was raised to be a leader.
But you are a leader.
Did you see how smooth Mike Martin just walked into that conversation?
But you are.
Excuse me. Let Mike Martin finish his conversation.
I can't stand him.
This is the way he just collaborated into
CMPRadio.no. It's the station.
It's just that. Like, I don't think that one person in front of me, I have to follow them. Show me. We need to get to the mindset of I need you to show me because I don't know, rather than don't tell me because I'm following you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once we get past that single mentality, and that's the problem. And once we move past that, we'll be a better people.
The selfishness.
Selfishness.
We gotta let that go.
Me. You know what I'm saying? All that, all those single innuendos and stuff like that, we'll be better, man. I don't think Kenny would be mad if I come to the studio and be like, yo, teach me how to paint, so I could be better than you. No, and he'll be mad at that. Like, nah,
your goal
I need
is
you to be
better than me.
That's the mentality we need to have.
More than
you know
I
what
did.
I'm saying?
I want the next steps to be taken. I won't live to see the change that I'm fighting for today, but I know that it's going to come. That's the mentality people have to have. You have to stop being scared of the right now, because the bigger picture is still out there. It's not been manifested yet.
I think another part is honesty, Nav.
That is true.
We're not honest with each other.
That is true. Because we don't speak up and say when we scared.
Somebody walks up to a person that has a restaurant already, and they say, man, look, I want to open up a restaurant. And from the rip, the person says, he gives you all the shine without giving you the grit.
Yeah. Wow. Go ahead.
Man, you could do it, man. You could open up a restaurant. All you got to do is go get your LLC, your CLR, and this. But what he didn't say is he didn't say, yeah, I opened up, I tried to open about 10 restaurants before I got this one running.
Right.
I was in Marcus Hook. I was in Chichester. I was doing it out my kitchen. I was doing it out my old house. I got evicted from this house.
Can I show y'all? Can I tell y'all my word?
I'm gonna tell you
my word of the year. My word of the year, and it's real talk, and it goes right here.
Is it a long word?
Vulnerable.
Spell it.
Vulnerable.
VUL.
Here we go.
NERABLE.
The human dictionary back there.
I'm just saying.
Put it in a sentence.
Put it in a sentence.
Nafati is vulnerable every time you see her face change colors.
Change the subject.
But that's what in your example, he only told him what was on the surface. He wasn't vulnerable enough to tell him, "Oh, I fucked up."
Shit.
10 years prior to this successful endeavor.
That's all I tell them, motherfucker.
Yeah, like, no, we ain't gonna tell people. I don't know why we think that. You know what I'm saying? You better than me. You better than me. No, you just got a different gift. You got a different gift.
Right.
You got a set of different gifts. Guess what? If we put all this, whoever has shrimp seafood gumbo,
me,
that shit is good.
Right.
It's good.
Guess
It's
what?
made different.
Everybody gonna make it different, and all ingredients are included.
Yeah, you can give them the recipe, but they'll never make it the same.
Never make it the same.
I've always I say that a lot in cooking. When people say, "Well, how do you make that?" I'll tell you how I made it. It's not. You're not gonna make it how I make it. It's not gonna have the same, because I have a different passion. A different passion in the way I make it. So I'm willing to. People ask me all the time, "How do you do it? How did you start?" And I said, from the bottom, because that's where I was. I was stuck.
Simple.
And I have to be honest. And I tell my kids now, I say, listen, we may be good, but we're not great. I said, so don't ever get too comfortable right here in this part right here, because I'm trying to elevate us up here, and I want y'all to follow right behind me. You want this, you want this, you want that. We're working on all 5 projects at the same time. But it only has a lot of amount of time for each project. But they all will be fulfilled. It might not be in my lifetime, but it's going to get done. because I'm paving the way for them. See, my dad paved the way for me and my siblings of understanding. He paved the way for me and my siblings of tolerance. You have to know what you can tolerate. If you don't have thick skin, don't get in this field. If you're not willing to take criticism,
What field?
don't get in any field.
No.
You got
Any field. You got to be able to accept what people are going to say
Behind your
and
back.
keep moving.
Yeah.
Because theirs is not the last say. So in order for you to be successful, you have to want success for you and the next person. Because if you're the only successful person in your neighborhood, what you say all the time, the fisherman fails if he doesn't teach other people how to fish.
Absolutely.
Because then they're starving and you're not. They can't solely come to you. Show them how to do it. So now we have multiple resources. And it's across the board. I'm grooming my kids for that. I'm not grooming them to work for
Nobody.
It's not that.
Listen, man.
And see that as a overarching. This is the end of my life. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get my
had
pension
kids
from
young.
no. You're not.
No, I had kids young. I thought my life was over. I tell them young girls when I talk to them, this is the beginning of you. This is not the end of you. You had a baby. Your baby is the next step of you. This is a version of you that will carry on. What you put in this kid is what's coming, what was putting you. This is not the end of you. Never think that because you had a kid young, out of wedlock, whether he was broke or not, that's the energy that you needed. At that time, God don't make no mistakes.
First, and that's a great segue now, because how can a blessing be a burden?
But
And
people
I've
look
never-
at it like,
it
I
could
don't
be-
know.
no, the
They don't
people
know what
around-
to do with
the
it.
people around you and what you see looks burden-ish. Like this kid that I birthed ain't no burden.
I think I'm gonna battle you on that one in a second.
Go ahead, bring it.
I think
I'm
a
with
blessing.
Mike.
I think a blessing is a burden. I think a blessing comes with a burden.
No.
I think a blessing comes with a burden.
Okay.
How?
Because everything has a trial and a tribulation to it. This station is a blessing. But I bet you he can tell you the burdens
bills are the
of
bill.
bills and stuff. Not for T, you're a great cook. Motherfucker, I eat at your house every fucking day, motherfucker. Every day I can, I come to Nafati the house to eat. But guess what? I bet you waking up at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning to go get the fresh seafood and the fresh salmon and making sure your kids get to school and it's a burden that comes with it.
No, it's pressure, bro.
When Jesus Christ himself had to go out to the fucking water and get some fucking fish to feed 100 people.
He didn't say it was a burden though. It was
There's
just
a burden that comes with a blessing.
It's pressure.
We're gonna stop that right there, because he didn't go out. He didn't go out to it was brung to him.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be labeled as a burden, but there's a process.
There's a process.
There's a process, and the process ain't
Yes.
never been easy.
Hell no.
I know a lot. Man, I know
it's not
niggas that are
easy.
millionaires,
Hell no.
right? And none of them have told me a story of just this like easy cruising road. Hey man, guess what I did, man? I just took
wakes
my
up
money
rich
and just put it in the stock, and then next
Right.
thing I know, I was a
It
millionaire.
multiply. Nobody wakes up rich, but nobody actually wants to tell their struggle. That's the problem. When I spoke earlier about my father's testimony, his testimony was so strong because he didn't leave out an era of his life. He talked about from being a child to being in the military to being Muslim to using drugs to drinking to domestic abuse to becoming a pastor to selling drugs. Like, he talked about every part of his life because he wasn't giving you the opportunity to tell his story.
Right.
I write my own book. It's written, but when it's time for it to be read, let me be the person who tells my story instead of you being the gossiper trying to tell my story.
But the gossiper's got to tell your story.
They can't though. They leave stuff. They leave out
They
key
always
points.
do.
They
Yeah.
forget. Oh yeah.
But they always make sure they tell
thinks
their part.
she thinks she's something else because she X, Y, and Z. I get up every morning at 6 o'clock. It starts. It doesn't end until 11 p.m. And then I'm not sleep until 2, maybe 3 a.m. You
That's
don't
a
know my steps.
Why would you
don't.
lie about that?
But you know
I
the problem.
What about when you was watching 227? You was up. You was watching the Golden Girls. You would call me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You was still up watching that old ass show. Get your old ass.
You know the embarrassing moments comes when you don't tell people first.
Right.
If you tell your
I-
story first, then you and you're honest and you're true and you're transparent, you can't blow me up.
Right.
I
But
think
why do
you
people
can't-
feel like
it's
they
also
have to be
humbling
the
in
first?
that.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
best
That's
example of that
humbling.
was Eminem at 8 Mile.
Exactly.
His
Right?
verse.
How was he able to get
His
to his
last
dream?
verse? Exactly.
He had to tell everything that he was going to say.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna shut you up before you even thinking you got
before
something
you
to
get
say
the-
on me.
Yeah.
But even if you say it though, once you come to peace with what Pierre used to do,
That's another
no
thing,
one
too.
repeating it can
It's
ever
gonna bother
shame
you.
It's
you.
not
It ain't
gonna
gonna
hurt
bother
you.
you.
That's my
You
shit,
know-
and that's honesty. That's vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why I'm telling you,
Transparency.
make the word vulnerable, man. If you're completely vulnerable in 2021, I'm telling you, a
You
lot of
asking
doors
too
gonna
much.
open.
I give you
asking
I give you
too
two-
much of a
open.
person.
I give
A
you
lot
two
of doors
different
gonna
styles
open.
of it. Remember when they said Michael Jackson was a kid rapist? You ever see Michael Jackson break down? He was
No.
just like, nah. I
He
didn't
just
do
kept
that.
moving.
He just said,
Kept
I didn't
making
do that
music,
shit.
Exactly.
Kept doing
Did
it.
you see when R. Kelly was in that last interview and they said, you doing all that shit to the kids? He said, y'all killing me with this shit.
Exactly.
Some people come to peace with what's going on and know the honesty and the truth of it, and some people can't face their demons.
Thick skin.
That's
Yeah.
the truth.
Thick skin.
Well, you're not ready
Mike has thick skin.
until you
Yeah.
are ready to accept who you are. Until you are ready to understand that this is your makeup, you can't be out here telling your story. You can't testify because then you're only giving a partial testimony. So when you come back the second go round and try to start your testimony over, people don't want to hear it because you forgot the key points from the beginning.
I give you like Saturday, right?
What the fuck is wrong with y'all keep playing with the monkeys?
Saturday.
What the fuck you
Jay
talking?
Sutton
That's
show,
racist
right?
as shit.
I'm watching the Jay Sutton show. Big ups to them. Another CMP, you know, them alum and all that good stuff, right? I'm watching the show and I see Bruce bring forth his Broadway thing, right?
Credit Solution.
The Credit Solution. I do credit too. It could have been easy of me to shit on his platform. Could have been easy. It can be easy of me or anybody out here doing credit repair so we can further black people and give them, you know what I'm saying, the power of buying things back and all that type stuff if they don't have the cash now, because everybody's not like you.
Everybody's not like you.
Everybody's
Nas.
not like you.
Everybody
So
ain't got a
some people just
basement
need
full
to-
of money
you
from
know what I'm saying?
Calvin.
You know
No,
what
it's
I'm
a
saying?
layaway plan.
No. Everybody ain't got that gambling money.
It could have been easy for me to be like, yo, man, I'm going to shit on his joint. No, I want to use his joint. I want to see if he can better help me because there's some things out there that he know that I don't know. So help me.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we got to get to. Just because Nav cooking don't mean that you can't cook on the same block
Let me
Nav
tell-
cooking on.
let me
Guess
tell you
what?
something.
You might make it this better than Nav. And Nav can be like, yo,
Let me get this.
Let me get that.
Listen,
It's that
I used to
simple.
leave from cooking at my store and go to the Bonnets and help April because I wanted to see her succeed just as bad as I wanted to
Exactly.
succeed. She would come and help me in any way she could. Hey, listen, I found a new vendor for X, Y, and Z. It's no fear in us both growing
Mingling
together.
That's
together.
what multimillionaires
But we
do.
just
Come
got,
on.
we just getting to this point though. We
That's-
just getting to. I want my kids to come out the gate like that. I don't want my kids to get to their 40s, their late 30s, and think that now is the time to start. I want them coming straight off the porch like that. You understand what I'm saying?
So listen, I've seen this thing about this pop-up shop, right? It was this black boy. His name was I don't know his last name. I know his first name was Jason, and he was talking about the theory of the pop-up shop and why, like 20 years ago, he came up with this idea of doing pop-up shops. He said it was because rich people have always worked next to each other, and poor people were scared to work next to each other.
Right.
So in the black community, he was introducing pop-up shops to say, you know, oh, you got a clothing line, I got a clothing line, let's all be
come
together.
Yeah.
Because when you go into a rich establishment, when you go into a multi-millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire establishment, guess who next to McDonald's?
Burger King.
Guess what
Wendy's.
happened when you ride out Chichester? Ain't McDonald's next to Burger King? Ain't Wendy's next to McDonald's? Ain't this
They-
pizza
they-
place next to the
they
other
within
pizza
2
place?
blocks of one another.
Go to KOP. They got a thing called a food court. Go to Christiana Mall. They got a thing called a food court. But in a black neighborhood, don't let
it's a sin.
Nasati's fried
Oh,
chicken
you cooking 'cause
be
I'm
next
cooking.
to Sugar
It's a
Shack's
sin.
fried chicken.
It's a sin.
Is she using my same recipe?
It's a sin. It's a
Listen,
sin. It's
So,
it's,
when he
it's
came up-
so
yeah.
bad. It's so bad. I tell people all the time. I wrote that on Facebook. I said if you go down Edgemont Avenue within a mile of each other, it's 5 food establishments, big chains that are all over the world. They not complaining about them being across the
They
street.
built a
Because
whole
business
new
works like
Dunkin'
this.
Donuts a
Guess
mile,
what?
A mile away from
another
other Dunkin' Donuts.
A
and
Wawa
both
next
of
to
them
a
are
Wawa.
still
And
flourishing.
guess what?
A Wawa next
The
to a
other one
Wawa.
ain't shut down yet.
It ain't going to shut down.
Because when I'm hungry, it's just like when I go to South Street, the theory of South Street. I might go when I go to South Street. I probably eat from Ishkabibble's, and then when I get to the bottom of the street, I eat from Lorenzo's Pizza too.
Exactly.
You know, and we gotta, as blacks, we gotta get on that theory though.
You eat a lot, bro.
So what did I'm fat enough? What did you going to talk about my weight on CMP?
You talked about me farting.
But
It's a demon I ain't ready to face yet, Naf.
It is the reality of it is everybody can eat if and you gotta wait your turn too.
Absolutely.
When it's your turn, it's your turn. Everybody can eat. It's
And
really
what's for you is
enough-
for you.
And guess what? A business can grow with just 100 people supporting. That means you got 34,999 more people to support you. That's it. You don't have to worry about my 100 customers. Worry about your 100 customers. What's
Shit.
coming for you?
100. How many people is in Chester, Pennsylvania?
35,000, right?
So 35,000 people,
36.
right? I'm sorry to tell all my clothing designers this. I've not met a clothing designer from Chester that has made that has just one shirt printed up 35,000 times.
Don't.
So you don't ever got to worry about somebody else's business. I have yet to find the food company, the mom and pop food spot that can feed 35,000 people today.
Oh, Tanya.
So you can never oversaturate yourself by helping the next food person.
Right.
And all you can do is bring more focus to your
your neighborhood.
That's it.
Build with your neighborhood. Listen, Naf might be able to cook, but she might not make fried chicken better than somebody else, right? Or somebody might not make fried chicken better than her, right? But if you're able to sit there and say, listen,
Now you can use any other thing, but don't you talk
but
about
but we're talking about food. Everybody's taste is different when it comes to food.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Some people love Miss Tootsie's of Philly, some people don't.
He passed away. The owner of Miss Tootsie.
You feel me? Rest in peace to him, right? So you
Cooking
can't-
paradise.
You can't sit here and be like, I can't do this because we got tons of shows here at the radio station, and people dip off and go do. I will give my 100%, and Naf say, "Come on, bro. Nah, I give you 100%. I'll help you out."
I ain't
I'll
never seen
tell
so
you.
many podcast attempts for a radio station or nothing. And I watched them. I watched them all come funnel through here, get the knowledge that they need, and go and attempt to do it instead of coming back and saying, "Listen, bro, listen, we can you come over here and help me set up?" Because Power 99, 105.3, 107.9, and what's the other station? Are all in the same. They're all in the same block in Philly.
Motherfucker.
Some of them in the same
Let me
fucking
tell you
building.
how blind we are to some shit, right? You ever watch Channel 29? Let's say NBC. No, let's say Channel 10. No, I'm saying all these stations.
I'm reading it. Go
Have you
ahead.
ever watched any of them? Guess what? They got shows that go on every day, all day long, and none of those shows are together.
Right.
The Martin show isn't with Living Single. The Living Single show isn't with the Channel 10 News.
Right.
They all figure out how to work under one
Time slots.
one joint together. But
I might not be able to watch it today as an individual, but Mike might have watched that show. I watched another show, and I'll watch it tomorrow because now they done made it so you can watch it later.
On demand.
Before, you couldn't watch it later, so you had to pay for your slot.
And
I don't
now
know.
that I have the ability to stream to so many different places,
Where are we
at the
streaming from?
Same damn time. We on YouTube right
Can
now
you stream
live,
North
Uh-huh.
Korea?
and Facebook right now live, and we got tons of other places. But I gotta see how those places work out. See how they're gonna work.
I'm just
trying
saying.
to get Periscope, which is Twitter. Right, we go on that joint. We go live on there. So I'm always working so that other people don't have to.
I'm going to hell for saying Cooking Paradise?
Yeah, Cindy Lou she always sending somebody to hell.
Damn, that's have paradise. Why would I go to hell for telling somebody to cook a meal in paradise? I tell my friends to ride in paradise.
CIP,
That's just hardcore.
Cooking
Cindy.
Paradise.
Listen.
Huh? Cooking Paradise. COP. Cooking Paradise. CIP, whatever the
But
fuck.
listen, today is a day of service, man.
You
So
think God don't want fried chicken?
make sure you're servicing your pause. Make sure you go out and project yourself in a serviceable way for your community. Meaning help somebody. I don't care if you're helping an old lady across the street. I don't care if you're helping somebody walk their dog, right? Make yourself of service. How can I be of service? Right? And hopefully, we continue to build with each other. Listen, today's word of the day is prodigy.
You didn't even pick a hard word.
Easy.
That's the word of the day.
That's a rap nigga name.
But that's not a rap
He
nigga.
from Mobb Deep.
So it's a young person who is unusually talented in the same way. That's
Wait,
the
he
definition.
said. That's from Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep, a prodigy. You can't be using names,
from
dog.
Mobb
He
Deep.
said he from Mobb Deep.
That's the word they gave me. And also
use prodigy in a sentence. Stomped him.
the way that young man plays basketball, he's a prodigy. Of basketball. I just said he plays
You didn't
basketball.
finish the whole
The way
sentence,
that young
though.
man plays
You didn't finish the
basketball.
whole
You
sentence.
got to be a
He's a-
prodigy of someone, though.
No, he
Of
doesn't
his-
have to
of
be a
his
prodigy.
father.
A young person who is unusually talented in the same way. That's it.
If you can't,
He's a prodigy
if
of
you
who?
don't
He
already
doesn't
have
have to hold.
In the same way.
Well,
of
basketball
what?
is the
He's a-
the sport.
He's a
You
prodigy.
would have lost
He's
on
a
Jeopardy. You would have lost on
Now,
Jeopardy.
bro, you can't come up with
Yeah,
the
you
word
would've
of
lost
the day
on
and all
Jeopardy.
of us know.
Hold
You
on,
would have
hold
lost
on.
on Jeopardy.
All
Hold
of
on.
us know.
Hold on, time
The
out.
word.
So
We were smart today,
so
bro.
he's supposed to be a prodigy of whom?
His father,
Nafati's daughter is a prodigy of her.
her. It's
Why?
of is
Why?
Yeah.
of whatever it is.
The definition says
Nafati's
prodigy.
daughter's cooking is a prodigy of her. It has to. It says.
Oh, y'all.
That was
I'm sorry. We all smart
CMP
today.
radio about
Bro,
to be
you're
shut
not the
down. Y'all
only.
over here trying
You're
to
not the
check
only
the-
one who knew the
Oh, we
definition
getting shut
or
down
the
today.
pronunciation of that
P. Diddy
word.
gonna shut this
No,
whole shit
pick
down
another
today.
word. Go
No,
to
that's a good word. It's a good word.
another
Time
word.
out.
Nah, y'all fucking with Pierre.
At least
we gonna
9
shut
letters
down
long.
today.
So a prodigy is a young person,
Right.
Younger than me.
younger than you.
It's an example of me, right?
It has to be a young person.
I'm just saying, like
It's
it's a young person. You can't be an old
Why
prodigy.
not?
right?
Why can't you be in the Wesley house and you're a prodigy of your community?
Because you can't be a old prodigy.
What if you're an old head but he
Because
can
you're
still
learning.
moonwalk?
You're learning.
What if
I'm
you're-
gonna scar Kenny out his name.
What if you're an old head but he can moonwalk and
Turn
make
their
bean
mics
pies
off,
at the
bro.
same
I was like,
time?
where you been at for the last 15 minutes?
You can't be an old prodigy. You're a young prodigy. That's what the whole.
Why I can't be an
you're
old
young.
prodigy, but I'm younger than the older person that I'm.
There's nobody for you
Replicating.
to learn after. But then y'all feel like that's what it means. Then that's what it means. But there's
No,
nobody.
we just,
no,
we
it
just
don't
talking
mean
about
what
your
it
sentence
mean,
that
'cause
you
we
mean.
said-
No,
We
the
talking about the
definition-
sentence that you
It
mean.
said-
definition
So don't
is
come to the
fine,
word.
perfect.
Yeah, the
The
sentence
we're talking
was,
about the
the
sentence
sentence
that
was
you're using
flawed.
it.
The prodigy.
It was flawed.
The sentence was
prodigy
flawed.
is not
Like,
about.
don't do word of the day if you're gonna flaw the sentence.
Prodigy
no more.
is not about the person ahead of him, right?
Well,
because
what is
what's
it?
the person ahead of him called?
Pierre, you can't handle
No,
the
stop.
truth.
What's the person ahead of him called?
The example. I'm the example. I'm experienced.
The
Pierre,
de-
you can't
the
handle the
person
truth.
ahead of the-
He picked a word that we all already knew.
Word is a
You
great
normally
word.
pick words
Yeah.
that we don't know,
You
Pierre.
can't pick no word.
You're
while I've been
supposed to
listening
be
that
adding
nigga
to
whole
my
albums
vocabulary.
every day for when I
I'm
was
trying to
kid.
help
New
you so that
things.
you use your vocabulary in the right fucking context.
Oh, now
and
he's
not the
cussing.
negative context.
Pierre has to put
now
a
he's out
dollar
of
in a
character.
bucket.
Right.
Oh,
Use it in the right context. He's a basketball prodigy. You hear people
Are
say
we
it
still
all
gonna
the
have a
fucking
show on
time.
Of Michael
Wednesday?
Jordan.
You have a young man that's a prodigy of fucking piano. He's a prodigy. He's young. He
Yeah,
doesn't
of
have to
something. You
Mozart.
just left Prodigy
He
by
doesn't
itself
have
last
to
time.
follow behind no one else.
Of Chopin.
I'm just asking you, are we still going to have a show on Wednesday?
Why
Is
wouldn't
the
we
show
have a
still
show?
having on Wednesday?
Why
Or you
why-
shut us down?
Predecessor, prodigy.
The predecessor.
Thank you, because I was no.
Why not? I mean, it can be that way.
I'm just asking,
No,
are we
it's
still
not that
having
way
a
because
show?
Pierre said no.
That's what a
Then he
rebel-
said what he said.
So stand
Over.
approval. Right.
Hit the button.
Hit the go. Time to go.
CMP Radio.
CMPradio.net, man.
He just gonna say. He just gonna.
CMPRadio.net. It's the station.
Listen, man, we want to thank y'all, man, for tuning in as always. Man, giving us great energy. Listen, man, Nav,
Yes.
Mr. Ruffle Your Feathers, Mike Martin on Mondays. Man, this is your day, Mike.
I'll be here.
You got to
I
be
won't be here
on
next
time.
Monday. I won't be here next Monday.
Fuck you mean you won't
I'll
be
be
here
in Puerto
next
Rico.
Monday?
I won't be here.
You going to Puerto Rico?
I'm going to Puerto Rico
niggas
too.
fix their credit and start going to Puerto Rico.
No.
That's why ain't nobody.
He fix his credit. Nah, fuck that. Tell the truth, Pierre. That stimmy about to drop
No,
this week.
I ain't get one yet.
No, it's about to
I ain't
drop.
get
Don't
one.
worry. Biden going in.
I ain't get one.
Your last one was deposited
The
on
20th.
time. Biden going to drop them joints.
told
I leave on. Yeah, he told me already. So Mike won't be here the 25th, and then I won't be here the.
Did you ask me when I don't want to be here? Fuck, I got other shit to do too.
I'll be here on the 1st.
I won't be here on the 1st.
You won't be
I
here on
got
the
two
first.
daughters' birthday coming up on February the 1st. Whew. Two on February the 1st. One's turning 20 and one's turning 18.
Oh, that was your cycle then.
I'm trying to figure out. I got two. The twins' birthday is the 9th. If anybody would like to cash at me, this is not beg. This is begging.
So you was popping.
Yeah, I was. I was.
What was that? Yeah, you doing the math too?
Yeah, so like, hey, listen, if you are Nav's, if you are Nav's secret sexual partner, don't have sex with her in May or June.
In the summertime,
it's over for you. You gonna have a
really
baby.
in heat.
Yeah,
She's really in heat. Chill.
Around Mother's Day, she ready to become a mother again.
Lord, it's the truth.
Oh, she from the old school,
bro.
Mother's Day parade. Nava T was out trying to make babies.
I got two years apart on February the 1st, and then I got the twins February the 9th. And all I'm saying, if anybody would like to cash at me, I got one. The twins is turning 14. The one is turning 18. The other one is turning 20. The 18 and 20-year-old, they going away. We going away on the 29th. They booked their own trip. I'm like, this how they got me.
I'm pretty sure it's some lucky
so,
man.
Mom, can I see your card real quick?
May.
And the next thing I know, I'm getting an alert saying I spent X amount of dollars. I said, what's this for? Oh, that's for our trip. We going away for our birthday. Well, how many seats did y'all pay for? Oh, we paid for 4. Yours, ours, and Rachel's. So I said, oh, okay. Oh, y'all got money to go away. They was like, no, that's why you're coming. I got set up to go away. And I'm thinking, I got to take off of work for 2 days to go away and spend money on y'all.
So basically, you kind of like a teddy bear.
What's that?
Because I'm just saying, like in the wintertime, you hibernate. Your yams hibernate. But then when May comes, April showers bring May flowers for Nafati. She will have a baby on your mother. Don't take Nafati out on Mother's Day.
I am fertile. I never would. I swear to goodness. One thing I never had a problem with was having a goddamn kid. I swear to goodness. I had to tell, he was my husband at the time. I said, nigga, don't even look at me. Don't come over here.
Don't come near me around Mother's Day. Just send me my card. Let me do my church.
Give me my gifts in the other room.
I'm fertile. I knew.
I'm a cheater.
I knew when I was with my GYN for years.
My gifts
you
in the
ever
other
seen
room.
Ghostbusters, the first one?
Went to the new GYN.
You ever seen the first Ghostbusters when that lady was sitting on the top of the tower waiting to mate? That's not for TNA. She said there like, she's a man eater.
No. And it was always a surprise to me when they said I was pregnant.
I don't know why it was a surprise.
No, because I was an advocate of birth control. I was, and I agree with abortion.
You was an advocate of birth control. You just said earlier, they didn't even give you fucking the brown bag of condoms.
I was already pregnant, bro. My first time at the doctor's, I went in pregnant.
Make sure you don't get pregnant again. We're going to give you this bag here.
Next time I see Nav going on a date,
it might be in the blood. Hey,
all
cousin.
I'm playing is man eater.
Listen,
here she comes.
I can tell my own story. I was an advocate for birth control. I tried every birth control that they came out with. Everything but the pill I got pregnant on. The shot.
You is just like the rabbit on Easter.
Everything. I'm like, what in the world?
You put that shit in your arm?
No, I didn't get the IUD. I didn't get that. By the time it was time for me to get that, my tubes, they was in a rush to tie my tubes. They didn't tie the left one properly.
They made the appointment for you, huh, sis?
No, I was
going to schedule this one.
No,
she's on the books.
I had a C-section with my twins, and they forgot. Like, that, after taking the twins out, they was like, they was on a rush. Because you could only be open for so long. Right. So they forgot. So I'm like, nah, we ain't leaving. That's how I feel. We about to have this thing on lock. And they tied my tubes like she was trying to hurry up to close me up.
8 kids later, they still trying to tie her tubes. They like, look, we've been trying to tie your tubes. This shit squirt. This like a hose with a
No.
Look, we was in a rush to tie your tubes. Oops, I'm sorry, you're pregnant again. You're like, motherfucker, I'm still in the hospital. I just had these kids. It's all right, Naf, you're pregnant again. You're going to have twins again.
I'm sorry, y'all see Naf ads. Oh, my God. CMP, listen.
CMPRadio.net.
So
it's the station.
So commanding life, right? We want to make sure we're always open to our possibilities. So sometimes what you want does not show up in the package you expect. Support can show up as an encouraging word. Abundance can show up as a belief in your ability to always create more. Love can show up as a simple thank you for being you. Peace can show up in the moments you choose not to react. Healing can show up when you appreciate who you are. Being in the moment can help you see that what you need is really already showing up. Be open to your possibilities. Right? It's CMPRadio.net. It's the morning meeting. Queen Naf, Mr. Ruffle Your Feathers. And Mr. Credit.
Monday Mike.
Mr. Credit. And we out of here, man. Yeah. Be safe. Oh, I ain't got no song for us.
You ain't got no song.
He ain't even ready for the exit, y'all. We just gonna leave like cut.
Cut it out of there.
I ain't got no
Drops
song.
the mic.
My country.
I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make them niggas hate. I'ma make